tape, right?
It'll be for whoever watches, but yo, we are recording now. Um, so stuff to know. Uh, Going into this, I got to talk to Alex about it, but just so everybody else already knows, because um, guns in Berlin right now are illegal. I'm not taking away your guns, obviously, but just
Okay.
err on the side of caution. There's a lot of ways you can get, especially at the end of the Great War. Uh, there was all these soldiers coming back, so there was like a gray market anyway. So uh, it's not like you couldn't have gotten those guns, especially how a majority of the party are carrying small arms. Um, but the the typical or the minimum like punishment or fine for being like found with firearms on you without like proper registration, meaning being in like an occupation that would require like being a police officer, um, is a minimum fine of I believe 100,000 marks, uh,
How many
which
dollars is that?
I would say, do we know the conversion rate of dollars to marks real
it's
fast?
about right now it's about 1,000 marks to a USD, and this is in 1922.
Oh yeah, they were in a depression at this time.
Yeah,
'cause
so
everyone fucking shit on them after the Great War.
outside currency is generally valued higher, but obviously depending on who you give it to, can cause a bit of a stir. But regardless, we will be getting started with a few things that I need to get out of the way. First of all, I need everybody to go ahead and roll a luck check. This is a D100. You succeed if you roll. Well, actually, the success doesn't matter. It's more the degrees of success. But
Oh, D100?
that is correct.
I rolled high. Is that good?
Nope.
Is that bad?
That's bad.
Ah, shit.
Hey, I
Oh,
rolled
man.
higher. Let's fucking go.
Noah rolled insane.
Like, holy shit, Noah.
Who gaming?
Yeah. Okay, so let me mark that down.
Our luck total have any?
So both Alex
to it?
and both Seth and Alex, you both rolled higher than your luck score. That's correct. I
Yes.
imagine so with 80s, but okay.
No, sorry, I had a luck total of 95.
Also, is my keyboard loud for the recording? Because
I
I'm
hear it
loud.
click a little bit.
okay.
Not a lot, though.
Because I'm
Just like
I'm
a little
trying to
background white
use
noise.
digital notes this time. Normally I use like a notebook, but it's a bit cluttered in my room right now. Well, regardless, we'll go ahead and get started with Long Nights. Just for copyright reasons, this is a modified but also true version to the module. Oh god, what's this module called? Don't look it up, but it's the module Berlin, the Wicked City. But pretty cool. Yet, regardless, we begin with the cement reinforced within the interior of a cement reinforced room. Your mind a cluttering mess, voices and shadows moving at the corner of your vision. The dark interior of this this tiny space, only occupied by a single square table in its center. You can see that the images of a black framed like glass window on the far right side of the room. But beyond this, the only other images of furniture being a single hanging fluorescent light, a cone of pale, flickering light kind of like casted over the steel table or what you can still believe to be the reality that you're still sitting within. Your mind a cluttered mess as you have rambled through your stories and tellings to the individuals and investigators across the room. Sitting across from you, as you finish this rambling of your past incidents of what you can remember to the best of your abilities, you find yourself interrupted by a spoken shadow in the corner of the room, rather barrel built and well fitted in a thick dark gray overcoat. Underneath you can see what seem to be similarly grayed like vestments and otherwise. Beneath that kind of like wrap over his rather pudgy features. His hair haphazardly like slicked back, but beyond that, his faces and features are difficult to make out in your dysteria. What is all this you're even speaking of? We can't sanitize half of what you're saying. You either tell us the truth of what happened in Berlin, or you're going to get hanged for all this. We're trying to help you. You can see he wants to push on farther, but you can see a single hand raised from the shadow in front of you. The fluorescent light making it difficult to make out this man's features, but sitting directly across from you is this heavily cloaked man, seemingly wearing a far different and almost strange attire, a heavy, almost like deep velvet cloak he wears over his person, pulling a hood back as he raises his left arm and gesture to the speaking investigator beside him. I believe we should take it quite easy with this. I understand your mind is racing at the moment. You can see he reaches over to his into his cloak to his left, and as he seems to pull out what seems to be a small container, metallic and square-shaped in its make, but nonetheless he pops it open. Within it, he pulls out what seem to be small glass unopened vials of, you can only imagine in your hazy view to be opium, but nonetheless he pops the top of the glass vial off and he hands it to you. Your shaky hands barely able to hold the glass without dropping it before draining it down your throat. Yet as the liquid and drugs seem to take into your systems, you see the shadows and racing portions of at the fields of your vision, your mind begin to mellow the slightest degree to the terrors that you had experienced prior. I cannot guarantee that will do everything to ease your aching mind. What you need to tell us needs to be the truth. And as he seems to lean onto the table, you can see the light cast a heavy dark light over his light brown features. He's seemingly entirely bald, but beyond that, he seems to be wearing a heavy, thick framed glasses over the bridge of his nose and across his eyes. You can't see the eyes beneath the actual black frames, but beyond that, his face seems to betray no semblance of emotion. Interlacing his fingers, perhaps it would be best for us to start from the top. Take a moment to gather your thoughts. But I wish to learn everything of what you know. No matter how trivial, everything that you can remember of what you and your compatriots did and saw there in Berlin. No matter how ridiculous. Now please, the night is long, and we need answers. Start whenever you're ready. He reaches over and presses a record button on a tape recorder beside him, as you seem to bring a shaking but lessened hand up to your brow, wiping away the sweat of what you can and trying to pick apart the misty memories of your mind to those horrific years back in Berlin. The train comes to a screeching halt, scoring and cluttering into this almost like a brackety stop. The ride up to Berlin was a relatively pleasant but otherwise temperate ride, but nonetheless. As you step off the train at Anhalter station, you are plunged into this cacophony of sounds, reverberating from the soaring cathedral-like roof, crisscrossed with iron girders. All around you swirl fellow travelers from across Europe, and around the world nearby. Nearby to you, you see a legless veteran of the Great War propped against the back of a ticket booth, shaking his cap at passerby, jingling the few coins that lay within. His entreaties are ignored. Dressed in a heavy frock coat and wearing an impressively ostentatious shako helmet, you quickly notice a policeman approaching you. Otto Joyce, oder Gepäck? He asks you, taking a moment to remember your recent studies into the language of German. You realize that he is inquiring into which mode of conveyance you require. You ask for a cab, and he hands you a metal ticket with a stamped number upon its face. Hefting up your luggage, you walk out of the station, clutching your coat and collar tight against the cold wind, blowing in through the arches of the vast foyer and its ever-swinging doors. The vista of the outside is even more bustling than the station within. The streets still wet with the day's earlier rain, gleaming like glass in the darkness of night, reflecting the neon and electric lights that adorn the gray buildings, ringing the square. Cars compete for space with horse-drawn carriages and double-decker omnibuses. Trains and trams rattle by on elevated platforms everywhere, and everywhere pedestrian traffic swarms. Men and women, young and old. A newspaper vendor seated on a one-legged stool shouts out, "Hear ye! Come get all your recent newses! Here we have in the recent times the recent suicide, and hear all about it of Carl Grobsman. The wicked murderer in the streets who escapes punishment by suicide. Or, need fret not, tourist. Please come here and grab some maps. For the low price of 3,000 marks. As you, seem to gather things. Several different papers hang around his neck as he shouts out to the many pedestrians around him, though every so often it seems he gets a majority of his business as you watch him selling from the newspapers that he has, but he is just one of many other newspaper vendors around him. And if it wasn't obvious already, I'm on you right now. You're welcome to describe yourself in this scene so we don't have to do your appearance later, but...
Alright, you see, should I post these in memes and media, or do I post...
You can just post it in general or something, handouts, it doesn't matter.
I will post it in general. Alright, you see a man, bald, in his late 30s, not very attractive looking, looks like the picture that I've supplied, and he is wearing a nice fine, gray with darker gray stripe suit. Like he's got like the vest underneath. He's got the bowler hat, and right now he's just he's got his luggage and a briefcase kind of like strapped over his shoulder, and he's walking along in the streets of Berlin.
Yeah. You, sir, you seem rather nude. Need a map? Or perhaps you wish to hear all the latest news within the city? You seem like a curious sort. Hey, don't bother with that, vendor. Come, I have the same things but better. My newspapers run you only 500 marks. 300 marks over here. 285. You see there.
Ooh, 30 cents. Oh shoot.
I'll wait and see if they bicker back and forth for a lower price for a little bit as I ponder their prices.
They seem to hover at around 285 marks for a newspaper. Both of which seemingly to get into argument of being kind of in close proximity with one another. You imagine the recent decline of of Berlin's currency has kind of taken an effect on businessmen, making it slightly more cutthroat, especially here.
And I only have pounds on me, right?
You have pence too.
Okay. I mean, I'll go to the first guy that was talking to me. He caught my attention first.
I can see that you're a man of sense. Now, what will it be? Well, this is in Russian. I can't read this, but we have the, I carry Russian, English papers, and, I believe one of these is Italian, but I'm not entirely sure. Beyond that, we also have the shared map of... It is not loading. I have the name, but... I have Sternwald's Great City Map of Berlin, with all the regulated places that you need to know about.
Alright, I'll take the English map then, and then the English newspaper and the map.
Getting yourself prepared for a fine stay in Berlin, I see. Smart man, smart man. That'll be 3,300 and... Oh wait, 3,000 and... What did we barter on for the newspaper? It was 285? 3,285 marks.
Woo-hoo. I give him that amount in pounds or whatever.
Yeah, you don't need to take it out. You can afford it pretty easily.
You wealthy fuck.
An Englishman, I see. Welcome to Berlin, sir. You see, he kind of pockets the money, and he hands you a slightly damp piece of or newspaper, and he also hands you this colored map of the city, which I will now make public.
Berlin, there it is. It's on Foundry.
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, I see.
Oh my.
And you are currently, you would estimate like right here. Oh, sorry, you're like near here. Sorry.
Near here, okay. And all right, and I don't know where I'm trying to go yet, right? I don't.
No,
know
you
where
don't know
any
this
of
city at all. This map really only seems to illustrate like tourist locations, and like notable places. It also seems to dissect the city of Berlin into its like mini districts, until it goes into the like much farther out like aspects of Greater Berlin that were recently appropriated into it. But beyond that, as you stand within the center of this like bustling city square, even though it's getting to the approaching the evening, it shows no signs of really slowing down. Looking around at the many like bleak stone buildings around you as the train that you had just stepped off of begins to chug off and leave, continuing its tour, you can see that the streets are packed with vendors, cars, carriages, as though it was like, it reminds me very greatly of the central areas of your own home. It doesn't seem to show any signs of stopping. People of all walks of life seem to be moving around here.
And do I see where my cab ticket would go? Like, is it to a specific cab, or is it just any cab? Or
Can you go ahead and roll a spot hidden for me?
a spot hidden? Okay.
I believe that's the name of the skill.
Yep. 56, which is under my 70, so that's a success.
Yep.
Is that how that works?
Yeah. In order to succeed, you need to roll below or equal to your skills modifier, unless I ask you for a hard or an extreme test.
Okay.
But yeah, looking at your ticket. What's up?
I succeed.
You do. Looking around at the area, kind of taking in the sights for what you can. You look for the symbolic like signs of a taxi, and you can see directly northwest of you as you turn into a large crowd of individuals, through the interlacing like honking cars and individuals walking along the street. You can see that there are a total of 2 taxis that are currently parked along and near the station. One of which you can see has the matching like numbers that are on your ticket, so it is the taxi that you were provided.
I will head on over.
Okay. As you begin to walk through the slightly dampened, cobbled streets of central Berlin, making your way and kind of maneuvering around people, you take a moment to kind of put away the stamped ticket and kind of double checking your directions for the evening. And as you're just approaching the halfway point between where you were into this taxi, you find your shoulder slammed into by another individual. If I could have you make we'll just make this a strength test.
I'm going to kill this man. 69. Success.
You both roll matching numbers and both succeed. Both of you
Universe explodes.
You find your shoulder kind of like shaken aback but you don't manage to lose grip of any of your luggage, or the small piece of parchment of directions that you held in your hand. Yet the individual that you bumped into, you can see, first and foremost, you can see a cigarette drop and land into a puddle just beneath your feet as you I am very sorry mate. I did not mean to bump into you. Are you all right? You can see, kind of like, as you kind of adjust yourself and look back, to see a rather like haunched but individual wearing a large duster coat. Beneath it, you can see he's wearing a buttoned up like vest or a white buttoned shirt, and that leads on down to rather plain looking khaki pants. But you can see that there are a set of oh god, what are those straps called? That go from like
Overalls? Or suspenders?
suspenders. Yeah, he has suspenders that would be going over the top of his like chest, but they kind of just lay at his wayside. But most notably, you do see that he's wearing a leather vest, or like harness beneath the duster coat, and under it you can see that there is a holstered revolver or some form of like small arm. But most notably, you can see that there is a badged on badge that you can only assume to be akin to that of law enforcement. The individual beyond that, he has very sunken features, but this isn't to say that he doesn't have a handsome or masculine appearance to himself. He does seem to be very tired. His eyes are bloodshot and deep bags kind of hang under his eyes, but even so, he still seems to have a rather alert presence to him. I will post a picture of him. I gotta mess up the cameras for a sec, but that's okay. It's in handouts.
Look at him.
Well, regardless, I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt your night. It's a long one for me, but I imagine you're just arriving. I won't hold you up any longer. You have a good night, sir. You can see he seems to pop up another cigarette before like lighting it and walking away. Nonetheless, you resume your march over to the cab, and as you throw your luggage into the trunk of the cab and hop into the back seat, you can see a rather lanky looking man kind of lean over the seat. So where are we heading?
I believe we're heading to Sidale Auto Workstop.
He kind of like looks over his shoulder and to you. I'm assuming you're new here.
Hi.
I could tell. You can see he kind of like starts the car and heads off, seemingly already knowing where he should be going. He tries to make some small talk as he drives, but depending on you, it either goes nowhere or falls to silence.
Reading the paper and just kind of doing the
As you find yourself driving through the evening streets of the city, I will say that you can make a
sanity check.
sanity.
Ah!
Are you actually in Berlin? Who knows?
Ooh.
You in like some
Shoot.
underworld Berlin, which will exist in 15 years?
Can I have you just for like to see what you actually like take away from the paper? Make a. Did you take an English paper?
Yep, English.
I'll just do another spot hidden check. This is just kind of like skimming over it in its a language, you know.
67, which means I succeed.
Nice. Okay. Most notably, kind of plastered across the front of the paper is you notice now that the paper is called the BZAM Mittag, written by Morgan Osgabe.
I
but
try to write that down. What the fuck?
No, you don't. It's not important. But beyond that, the biggest headline on the paper, and most notably across the yellow parchment, is Carl Carl Grobman, I think is how I say his name. Let me double check. Yeah, Carl Grobsman. Carl Grobsman found dead within his cell. It basically goes on to explain that the local and serial killer of multiple women within the city of Berlin, and most notably within the Kiez area, had recently avoided his punishment and trial by committing suicide within his cell.
Nah, I'm not sure if I believe that. That's an Epstein scenario right there.
There is a
You're not
picture of his
politically
body in the
correct.
in the paper.
Oh man.
Yeah. The beyond that, however, well, it's a clipped picture, but you can definitely see it's basically the cell. But beyond that, you can see, or reading into it, you can see that there are fewer things to note, talking about, popular individuals within the city, the rapid decline of the Deutschmark, and yeah, mostly of the recent papers being, small talk, nothing huge and major, but a lot of it's talking about the Great War and the rising political conflicts within the city. But beyond that, the biggest thing is the death of this like serial killer, which is definitely a breath of relief upon your initial arrival into the city.
I'm not a woman. I'm fine.
But nonetheless, as the minutes pass, you can hear a light tap on the seat in front of you, and oi, here's your stop, man. You're welcome to hop out, but pay for this part of the city is 2,500 marks.
I guess
You're
I
still
gotta
fine
pay
for the
some.
you're still fine for the daily like thing.
Yeah. Woo. I give him the money, and I head on out of the cab.
As you hop out of the cab, you find yourself standing within a fairly wide street. Not nearly as packed as the square that you were on before, but there are still quite a few people walking along these streets. Yet as the night is kind of falling away, you can see, kind of glancing around, there's this almost like mellow grimness to the area. Occasionally you can see, infrequently, many buildings are mounted by the occasional like sign of neon lights to signify they're open and the transfer to the evening portions of the city. A far different display than anything you really expect from at least your home area. Seems to be taking this very like bright glow to it. And you can see this even more so in the far distance and edges of the city. But this area seems to be on a much more mellow and darkened scene. You can see a lot of buildings are boarded up. The interior is black and devoid of light. You can see a mixture of shoddily dressed men and women starting to kind of take their place alongside the streets and kind of pander to individuals marching past. And the moment you find yourself getting out of the cab of the vehicle, you can see just a few dozen feet away from you there is a large, kind of fenced-in area, and within it is housing a L-shaped garage building. One of the garage doors is kind of like pulled up, a fluorescent light kind of illuminating the interior. But you can see that there are a few individuals inside moving about. Beyond that, however, the outside of the garage is kind of littered with parked cars that seem to be in disarray and in the process of being scrapped, wheels taken off, hoods pulled up, engines missing, etc., etc. And as you begin to make your way to the closed off fencing, you can see well, never mind. You begin to make your way towards and into the past the fencing area and through the garage. Or how would you want to come into this, I guess?
I'll comment what you just said.
Okay. Nonetheless, you find yourself coming through the fenced-in area, and entering and approaching the garage area. You can see within there is a set of two vehicles. This seems to be just a single rectangular garage. Immediately to the right wall, you can see that there is a green, an old door that seems to lead into some office area. It's what the window upon the face of the door seems to be cracked and broken, but within it you can see a familiar. Do you have an appearance for this character, Noah, or?
For for the not me but the other
Not
guy.
yeah, because if not, you
Oh
can.
yeah, I do kind of just a little bit.
You want to describe what
So
he looks like?
yeah, so this character you would see, he seems to be a man about in his 40s, early 40s kind of thing, like 40, 45 up in there. And he is a man that as soon as you see him, you can see that he has these like kind of sort of s- cold, sort of striking like blue eyes. Like his gaze is kind of strong and heavy when he looks at you, but he doesn't seem like. But he's also like he has like a kind of a jovial smile. His hair is blonde and it's like slicked back, so like it went through a comb a couple times. And he's in this. He'd be wearing kind of like a 1920s kind of like a tan beige suit for this time. He has a brown tie. He's seems like a pretty cleanly individual, even though he's like in a place like this.
Okay. But nonetheless, you see that recognize this individual as Richter, or Richter Seidel, a former compatriot of yours. Though you can't necessarily remember what opinion of you left off on him.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll approach him. Why, Mr. Seidel.
Aye, that would be me. Oh, okay. This is not a face I was expecting to see. Unless he's Italian. I can't do an Italian.
No, he's German. Yeah, he's
Okay.
German. He's a German guy.
Okay.
That's a German, yeah.
I didn't get a chance to really read into your thing. I apologize, but to what do I owe the pleasure, Mr. Wright? I can't imagine your appearance means anything good for me.
Well, I arrived into town, and fuck, my accent is not very good right now. Or what, mate? Or arrived into town lately, and I'm looking for some transportation.
Well, I am happy to point you in the direction of finding a cab.
Or I'm thinking a little bit more permanent. I've got
Well,
some
you-
business here, and I'll be here for the foreseeable future.
Well, sorry to be the one to break it to you, but finding a vehicle for a fair price in this city is going to be difficult. Everywhere is going to skin you alive just to send you a piece of metal on wheels because of the profit margin loss. Even this place I'm starting to consider closing down entirely. Too much of a loss. It's not like unless you're trying to come in here and budge some sort of favor pull on me. But regardless, the only vehicles we have still unscrapped are the ones you see in the garage, and one of which is my brother Toli's, and the other is, well, my boy's in there. And by the way, you can hear this whole deal going on. Right now you're working under the hood of your car. So I'm sorry to break it to you, but no matter how much you twist my arm here, I'm not going to be able to provide you a car. Or at least one in a fast manner. Best case you could do is... wait, strong arm another one for their own car. See if the bulls stop you over for that one.
Well, alright. I'm not sure if you remember, but I do have quite a lot of financial pull. I'm not sure if that means anything here.
My guy's gonna climb out from under like the car that he was working on.
Listen, mate. Oh, my friend, this isn't a matter of money. This is a matter of lack of resources. Unless you can convince one of my lads here.
That's what I'm gonna like. It's like when like on mechanics are working on the cars, they have like those boards that they like shuffle out.
You hear this? Kind of like slide out from under the car.
Did you say you had quite a lot of money?
As you kind of look
Alright.
down to the voice, you can see coming out from literally the car right beside you. If you want to describe your car and yourself, but as you kind of like on the board as though he was working beneath the car, you can see he's just kind of laying on his back and looking up to you, covered in car grease and oils.
Yeah. So in the in general, I'll post the card there. I don't know if you would know this model, but it's a coupe, as they say. It's got like the no hard top, but it has that kind of top right there, the sort of like the fake one, like the convertible you can put on there. But my character himself, you can see that this is a really like young man, barely even a man. He's only 20. You would put probably. You can see that he has tan skin, more tan than like probably everybody else you'd see around Germany at this point. But like not as tan like if you were to go farther south in Europe, that kind of thing. But he's definitely tanned. He has black hair, but some of it's like kind of on the back of the board now. But you can see that's kind of long because he's wearing a one of those golf caps, and so like strands of it are sticking out. And it's kind of greasy, it's kind of sweaty, but you can see that he has black hair. He has brown eyes, kind of beady looking. He has a face that's kind of thin. He's an average looking kid, not like the handsomest, but he doesn't look as tragic as some other people. You can see that he's currently, as he like wheels himself out, and he's kind of like on full display for you a little bit. He has his mechanic jacket, kind of a denim one, sort of like made of a jean kind of fiber. It's kind of greasy. He has brown work pants, and he's wearing leather working shoes. But that is this character. He looks kind of just like a boy to you.
A little boy. I. Are you looking to sell?
Oh, this is the second most loveliest thing in my life. I don't think I could sell this, but I could drive you.
All right. You want to be my chauffeur?
I'm gonna take a look at Mr. Herr Seidel, as they say in Germany. Herr Seidel, I know that you said that you might be thinking of closing, and I don't know how easy it will be for me to get another job.
That is very true. It is only going to get harder from here on out, boy. So, if you want to take this lad off my hands, you'll probably be doing both of us a favor. If there's one thing I could say about this guy, money's in it at the very least.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, Giovanni. Giovanni Jersey Wagner.
Oh God. All right.
But you can call me Gio if it's safer.
All right. Mr. Wright. Pleasure to meet you, Giovanni.
Well, like, I'm still on the thing where I'm like, put my hands up, shaking your hand.
Well, then pick up the pace.
You won't regret it.
Alright, don't start kissing each other already. Just get the car running and get out. I still have to close up shop. Whether you're working here or not.
Aye, grazie, Herr Wagner. Oh, Seidel. And then I'm gonna cop up, I'll put the board away, and I'll turn on the car. If you want to go outside, I'll take the car out.
All right, I'll meet you out there.
As you
Walk outside.
as you get the car all ready, finishing out the final repairs and work you were doing on it, you put all your tools away, and just as you're getting into the vehicle and about to turn the key, you hear "Hoi, Gio." As you kind of like look over to the office and you see a piece of or kind of a fat envelope flying towards you, and as you kind of are barely able to catch it in time, you'll pay early to the month. Just because you're leaving for a bit doesn't mean you can't get paid for the work you already did.
Thank you, Herr Seidel.
Aye. Perhaps if you ever run the shop while it's still open, there's always still work to be had, yeah.
Of course.
You take care of this one, you hear me, lad? Or, alright? Sorry. He says right, not lad.
I'll give him like a wee, a little wave as I'm walking outside.
And he kind of like closes the door to his office. Gives you a final wave as you kind of drive the car out, and you can see the door kind of like close on its chain behind you. As you find yourself kind of leaving the garage, you can see, looking over, at the moment, Wright is being hassled and seemingly spoken to by pair of women. One of which seems to be in their like mid 40s. Short, mid-length, like bobbed brown hair, and similarly in a twin fashion is a younger counterpart, seemingly a little too similar to be just friends. Same colored hair, same bob style, and both dressing in the same soft cloth mantle and otherwise. It's nothing regal or otherwise, but also you can definitely tell that they have put on both the jewelry. You immediately recognize these as this is a tea girl, or tea, as is more commonly slang. Um, just so you know, uh, they're prostitutes, both a mother and a daughter, seemingly working in collaboration.
And
So hey there,
so,
big
like,
fella. Looking to have a date with us tonight? You can see the older woman seemingly rubbing up close to you, the younger one seemingly trying to go up along with it.
So they're talking to me, right?
Yeah, they are. It seems your attire drew the attention of
Oh, God.
some of the predators here.
Oh, the predators. Ooh. I'm getting circled. Well, love, I seem to be all he's spoken for as I show him my wedding ring.
Well, what she doesn't know, she doesn't know. Is that right?
Yeah, but what I do, I do. I'm sorry, I'm waiting for my chauffeur.
As you kind of like buckle away and run away before they can hold you into any more conversation. Um, you quickly make your way into the now running vehicle behind you, buckling into the seat beside him. The car having a pretty steady and heavy rumble to it. It just definitely feels as though he packed something not normally in this car into this car.
You got this fucking tweet out.
oh, I will. If did he get inside? If he didn't, I will go open the door for him.
Oh, okay. You
I'll open like the back door for him, you know.
but nonetheless, the T kind of make their way away, failing to catch any business with you today. Kind of getting yourself seated and otherwise. Giovanni kind of going out of his way to open the door for you as you make your way into the passenger seat of the vehicle. Soon enough.
Thank you.
Slide over the roof of the car, go to my side. Oh, so I see you met some nice women out there. I guess before, did you want to take any of them with you?
No, I believe I'm fine.
Probably a good idea. I mean, I assume you have work to do if you're here. Do you have anywhere you want to go?
Yeah. Let me pull up the address that I don't remember. Oh shit, where is it? Alright. We're going to my house. Avon Lexwood Manor, Wannesee Road, 210.
Oh, you own a house here? I think I know where that's at.
I do.
Ah, well,
It should be in the Grunwald.
okay.
That's
Oh,
what I was
shit.
told by the DM.
Oh, you forgot? I'm going to retcon and say that you asked him where to hire more muscle, otherwise we're never going to meet Seth.
Alright.
I'll see y'all later.
Alright,
Go make
yeah, I actually, I'm gonna need to hire more muscle before we go to the car, to the house though. Keep that in your mind though.
Oh,
I don't know where I'm going to hire more muscle.
Well, to
on
retcon,
muscle.
I didn't catch on to it, but you need to go. She would have told you to go find an individual by the name of Gore at the Red Strip. And,
Alright, we gotta go to the Red Strip. I've got business there.
and you already know exactly where this is. It is a rather right-sided speakeasy north of here in the in the Kreuzberg district, kind of hidden, tucked away in a small alleyway area, but nonetheless, it's especially at this time of night, that area is just going to get more and more busy as the evening light continues to trickle away. but nonetheless, you know where it's at.
Well, right away. I'll take us there now.
Okay. You get the car rolling, and the drive is a short while as you guys make your way across the wet streets. Luminescent neon lights kind of illuminating the many pedestrians, prostitutes that are slowly beginning to fill in, plying their wares, both material or otherwise, to the evening market. All the night ballads and otherwise more evening aligned establishments are beginning to turn on their lights and open, and with it, many people piling into their interiors. And soon enough, you find yourself bringing the car to pull over. A short walk and in a line of other vehicles down this rather wide, brick floored alleyway, or you could almost even call it a street, but it does have a dead end at the far end. And along the left pale stonework wall, there is a large red neon light that is just glowing in this similar strip. No sign or explanation to really symbolize that this is like the place beyond the symbolic like neon like electric work, but there is a wide staircase that seems to lead down into an area below. You can see a few people kind of like making their way up or heading down. There's a few dozen sitting outside and leaning against walls, kind of like smoking or otherwise, leaving this heavy like musk or cloud of smoke that seems to just be kind of like dissipating into the sky above.
It's right here.
Thank you. You won't come in. We can help look for him together. Looking for the gore.
See, I can come in with you. If you need any backup.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
All right, just let me.
I will say
They
you
have-
also you know who Gore is. Not personally, but you've seen him at the shop before dealing with your
My
employer,
boss.
your boss, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this man a couple times before. Just let me lock the car. Oh wait. Did they have car locks back then? I don't know.
Not very good ones. But you roll up
Yeah.
the windows, make sure the tarp's fastened over the top of your car. But nonetheless, you step out, pull the key, lock it, walk to the other side, lock the door, and soon enough, kind of make your way, approaching the stairway. But nonetheless, as you all start to make your way down the steps of the stairs, you're quickly filled with the sound of music and the heavy smell of narcotics within the air. As you seem to make your way down and into this low-ceilinged and almost like wide but low-ceilinged entertainment area. Dozens of round table kind of populate the dark stone flooring. The small stools populated by both intoxicated and inebriated individuals, in jolly conversation or otherwise just trying to like pass the time in the evening light. You can see in the far back where the ceiling begins to raise slightly, there's a single band beginning to play what seems to be light jazz over the entire interior. Many different gambling tables are currently at work around the structure. And roughly about 6 slot machines on the far left side. You can see people just idly like seemingly gambling away what wages they have right now. But most notably, as you seem to kind of walk around the interior of this and around the central bar, you soon enough find the individual you are hoping to find seemingly sitting at a half circle poker table, kind of like laying down a hand as you arrive, and much to the distress of many of the people at the table right now, you can see this is shit. He's rigging the table. I don't know if you two are working together right now, but there's no way you've won 3 matches in a row. He's got to be counting the cards, and you hear a few like, yeah, you know, like, you can see the dealer like, calm down. We're getting this all as a fair game right now. He's just having a good night. Better night than I'd expect, but a good night. You can see the dealer is not very pleased either, but he's also trying to keep the peace right now. As he seems to gesture to an individual that you recognize as Gore. And Gore, if you'd like to do a bit of a introduction.
Sitting at the table, uh, he's got sharp greaseback black hair that goes down just like to his neckline, and he's got a kind of like a thicker mustache that kind of goes just around his mouth. He's sitting there, got a nice hold on, I got a picture of it. 1 second.
Ooh.
I had a picture too. Hold on, give me 1 second. I gotta find it. Where was that picture? Okay, posting in general. On currently, he just has like a white, like shorter sleeve shirt with like black vest and connected chain going down through. He has a red tie on, similar to the style going on here. And on the back of his chair, he's got a long like a dark brownish black old west duster coat. And sitting in his mouth, wriggling around a bit, is a corncob pipe, as he has a very, very smug grin on his face as he is just relaxing with his winnings, pulling them in.
Okay, fine. Fold this round. But those winnings won't be with you for long. You can see one man's face sitting at the far end of the table. His face, a heavy pink from clear inebriation, as he seems to fondle a bottle of rum to his right. Kind of like as the dealer seems to set out a few more cards.
You keep drinking there rum, and maybe you could pull a couple hands back. But it's gonna take a long night for you to get any of these off my hands. And he's just moving the pipe back and forth.
You trying to play smart with me? As he kind of like shoots out of his chair, the kind of like stumbling slightly as he kind of like the stool kind of coming to a clutter, and as it does so, the entire like room seems to slow to a moment of silence as the band kind of like stops for a moment.
Now, I don't hear you calling me no cheat, Mr. Rumfan. Is that what I'm hearing right now?
Cheat. You're nothing but a cheat. There's no way you win that many winnings. And you trying to call me a dunce? And a drunkard? I want that smoke grin off your face as he kind of like swings his rum arm at your head. Do you want to dodge or do you want to fight back?
I'd like to dodge back.
Okay, go ahead and make a dodge check.
All right. Alright, so I roll a D100 and then I have to shoot lower than my number?
Equal or lower, yeah.
Equal or lower, alright.
Boy, bro, dodge that rumble. Oh.
I will also give you a bonus die or a benefit. Forget the actual name, but roll your D100, then roll an extra D10, and you can swap the D10s or the 10s die for the better result between the two because of how inebriated this guy is.
Whoa.
He sucks. Ooh, I don't think that matters.
Yeah. Alright, I'll take the I'll take the 16 if you will.
As he kind of like swings wide, but you see it coming from a mile away as you just kind of duck under it.
I was gonna say, can I just like lean back in my chair just a little farther past the punch?
Yeah, you don't even like get out of your chair. You just kind of lean back on the stool, and as he swings over, his foot kind of catches the ring of your stool below, just kind of jostling it as it does, and you just hear as he slams off the foot bar at the bar beside you, just lying unconscious on the ground, the rum spilling out of his bottle, and a few moments pass before.
Boy, be calling me a cheat, can't even see his cards straight. Pitiful fool, pitiful fool. Am I able to get his winnings now, or do I have to fight for them too, Mr. Dealer Man?
I believe you already have his winnings, sir.
No, I didn't know if he had any caught up his sleeves, you know. Sometimes they like to pull some fast ones. Well, either way, maybe we can keep going. I'm feeling a bit of a hot streak tonight, if you will. Hot streak.
Well, sir, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but this table is closing down.
Well, there you gone, done ruined my night, Mr. Dealer Man.
As he speaks, and you can clearly tell that he's closing it because you're winning. So
Gone down, ruined my night. I guess I'll take my winnings and leave. Y'all have a good night, y'all. Frickin' whippersnaps.
you grab the marks on the table and kind of gathering up. It's not a lot. It's not like none of these guys were wealthy.
Yeah,
And you
winnings
weren't
are
really
winnings.
playing. You weren't playing that much against the dealer. It was kind of a cheap, or not a penny machine, but a penny table, if you will. And someone got a little worked up over it. As you kind of pull yourself up at his stool, you turn around, you can see that there is another pair of curious faces looking at you as though they had been watching that entire deal.
While I'm standing, I quickly take my nice coat off, and I'll post a quick picture of it.
Ooh.
And I don my coat. It's only the coat, none of the denim underneath. And also, that guy doesn't look anything like me, but it was the best picture I could find.
Oh, that's all I'm gonna think of when I think of your character now. It's just that.
Yeah. Just that guy.
Yeah, just
No.
that guy.
As he
But,
pla-
Small one there. Does that go?
Let's see, yeah, that's one. That one's good. He kind of does that a bit.
Dash the marks in my coat, and I start making my way. Try to kind of wandering through the tables or whatever, seeing what's being played.
Do you want to go back to your own table? Because you did come here to drink and play. How much you actually decide to drink is up to you, but you still have whatever you ordered at your table. You just kind of took a break to gamble a bit.
Yeah, sure. I'll meander my way down back to my table.
Soon enough, you see Gore kind of sitting himself down at one of the a round table in the relatively near where he had just kind of like haphazardly and accidentally knocked out one of the nearby patrons without even necessarily doing anything on his mark. But nonetheless, as though unbothered by your presence and your interest into what he had done or been a part of, he just kind of sets his coat down on his chair and sits down at the round table.
Take my pipe, set it down, start taking some sips as I watch the tables or whatever.
The two approach your table.
Nah, it ain't that deep into the night, but I don't think I recognize y'all mug around here anywhere. Anyway, Mr. Tallman.
Well, you might have not seen me, but I was working at Herr Seidel's outdoor workstat. You've been in there before.
Ah, you're one of his lackeys, is what I'm hearing. What you doing a little too far away from the mechanic shop there, boy?
Well, I think I brought a friend.
He reaches out a hand. Name's Mr. Roy. Mr. Gore, I believe I've heard that you might be good for some muscle.
Well, I may not pack muscle in your traditional sense, Mr. Wright, but I do come packing. What type of work or muscle are you looking for around these parts here in Berlin?
Alright, well, right now I don't really know what the business is going to be. All I know is it requires more trained hands.
Now I gotta ask, am I being paid on standby or am I being forced to sit here and wait for you to blow the whistle?
Payment, as far as you know, is being handled by the person who's also paying for you. But the appointment is in 2.5 hours.
Alright, well, the appointment's in about 2.5 hours. I believe the employer is who is going to be paying us. I'll give you some up front if you do prefer.
Alright. And remember, you make none of that Mr. crap. That was my grandpappy. Just call me Gore. Full name Roland Gore if you're looking for me in the books, but Gore is all you can call me by.
Alright, go.
Now let's blow this here stand. We got work to be doing.
Just as he begins to say
Read all
that,
my
you can
notes.
hear, as though you all almost sense the bohemian, like, the
Is it a rhapsody?
bohemian comfort of this establishment seemingly being disturbed in the air as a small bit of silence seems to ring over the establishment once more, as you can hear a heavy collection of footsteps beginning to make their way down the stairwell. And arriving at the base of it, you can see that there is about a dozen of adolescent men, varying in different ages and otherwise, but nonetheless, all seemingly wearing this cohesive uniform of dark gray military style. Some of which bearing what seems to be military medals upon their breasts. And you can definitely tell and see signs of their time within the Great War or other military efforts, from anything from pockmarked mustard gas scars, eye patches, a slight jaunt to their or stumble to their jaunt, or other scars that seem to be on their person. But most notably, all of them seem to be wearing a large pewter badge pinned to their left sleeve, depicting what seems to be a Viking longship cutting through waves, with the name Eirhart beneath it. That is EHRHARDT. I'll just post in handout.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Do they just look like they're patrons, or are they looking like they're coming here to cause trouble?
All at the mere like entrance of these men, you can see that there is a collection of hisses and jeers that seem to ring out from the denizens within the bar, as though they seem to have some recognition of who these people are, beyond you being rather new to this area.
Would I recognize them, as I'd been in Berlin for a bit, or?
You can make. I'll have both you and Noah make a. Let's see here. Sorry, I don't know all the skills off the top of my head, so I was just double checking if there was one.
Law, history. Listen.
Natural world.
I'll just have you guys make an education check.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a goal.
Well, I failed.
Oh shit, I did too.
You can't immediately recognize who these men are, but you can definitely tell that they seem to be much more authoritarian aligned. What faction of the many that are within this, whether they're Russians or Germans aligned with the Workers' Party, you have no idea. But beyond that,
while they're walking down, I'd like to take my cap and kind of just pull it low.
they're not bulls, which is slang for cops.
Yeah.
They're not police officers.
Well, yeah, I'm still gonna do that.
Most notably, the most notable weapon that you can see on any of them is the one and most easily the eldest and most uniformed of the men. You can see that there is a riding whip tucked under one arm. And at the sound of all the jeers and hisses from the group of denizens, as though they've recognized some political message to these gentlemen being here, he simply takes, clacking his heels together, and as he does so, all the men behind him seem to do the same, and just seems to have a salute out. And as he does so, you can see that there seems to be a beginning melody jeering out from some of the youth within the chamber, as they seem to begin singing this almost harmonic tune or melody. This happy melody that seems to ring as these men stand at the entryway seems to continue, and you immediately seem to recognize that the happy melody seems to be belying some shocking lyrical content to it, which seems to be hinting at the imminent return of the Caesar. Definitely some rebellious elements to it. Most notably, the verse end, or the short verse seems to end with "Knock off Walther Ratau, the God-forsaken Jewish sow." Not everyone in the bar is singing it, but you can definitely see that there's like some of the men who sang it, along with these these militaristically dressed men who seem to kind of help and lead it. there definitely seems to be a beginning of some like arguments occurring throughout the establishment. You can see some of the staff are trying to like uh, get things under control, but really this is out of their hands. Especially as these men seem to instigate things more, as they seem to begin making their way along the right side of the bar, seemingly intentionally kind of making a mess and direct entrance, as they intentionally seem to knock people off their chairs, bump into tables, spilling drinks and potted like plants and otherwise, as though to intentionally make some form of an uproar, but never taking any form of like aggression. They're not like hitting anyone. They're just like bumping into people and seeming to try to instigate more. Nonetheless, many of the group seems to make their way past you, heading to a lofted portion of the establishment. But not before one at the very end of it, his otherwise handsome features seemingly soured by his pinched expression at the reactions of the people around him, as he seems to stop before your table specifically, looking down to each of you. His expression seems to pinch at the bridge of his nose before, with a smirk, he seems to take a piece of chalk out of his pocket and draw a marked symbol on the table. It's a swastika.
Oh my god.
Before putting before letting out a setting the chalk away and then walking along with the remainder of his compatriots. Anybody want to anyone want to make a no roll? Which I believe.
And no.
That-
Whoa.
I
Oh,
believe-
is that just the intelligence one?
I think it's an intelligence. Let me double check.
I think I looked at that.
Oh, you mean no, like KNOW?
I'm pretty sure it's either just education or intelligence. But
Oh, so we can choose which of the two?
no, I'm double checking.
They're the same for me, so I'll roll. No.
Education or intelligence?
No, I'm double checking. I'm
He's
sorry.
figuring it out.
Well, I failed.
We'll just use education.
Education? Heck yeah.
Heck no.
Jeez, I'm having bad luck.
We're rolling so good,
199!
but in the bad, it's not for
In the opposite direction is
Yeah.
what we're doing.
I don't know.
I don't know jack shit.
It was a 67 and below. I
Anyone?
get it, but-
Okay, so who succided?
I don't
None
think
of
any
us did.
I had a
None of us did.
99.
You know it's a swastika, except for Alex. You don't know what it is.
Why?
But those of you that have lived in Berlin know what it is. It's a swastika. Mind you, the at the time the Nazi Party isn't like super big using this, so, but none of you actually know many of the details behind it. Besides, it's more than likely tied to some socialist workers' party within Berlin. But what's up?
No, I was gonna history check, but that's not a. That is not.
That's what you
something-
just did,
No,
technically.
no. I mean, like, off the table. Swastika didn't become actually in use until like early 30s, which was Hitler's influence.
Yeah, I mean, but it existed far before that. Like,
Yeah,
it was,
but it was mainly used as a sign
Mhm.
of auspiciousness and like greatness and stuff like that
Yeah.
until the 30s when Hitler perverted it.
Does anyone do at the political remark on your table? Were you here? He drew a swastika on your table.
I was listening. I had my headphones on.
Okay.
I just wasn't speaking. 'cause
Did
I was in the
anyone
bathroom.
do?
I will not do anything about it. If
I'm
that's
just
what you're
gonna take a
asking.
glance
Is that
at
what
it
you're
and then
asking?
I'll take a
I'm
look
gonna
at it
just
too.
start like making my way toward the door. I think.
All right. Yeah, we got a car waiting out front. We should
Yeah.
probably start heading that.
Well, as you all begin to kind of like pick yourselves up from the chair, and although you were able to ignore the actions of this group of military men, others were not, and you quickly see that much of the area is quickly beginning to come into an uproar. People upheaving out of their chairs and fighting with people that they had formerly just been sitting with. It seems that political beliefs and confrontations are getting extremely heated within this bar at the moment, as it just stool broken over back, punches are thrown, teeth are lost, as you just try to make your way quickly out of this establishment. I will also have each of you make a spot hidden roll.
Ow. Oh, that'd be good if I had that skill.
Jesus Christ, I'm failing.
I have succeeded.
Who succeeded? I'm assuming Seth failed. Noah failed with a
I
30.
failed.
I
too,
did.
yeah.
I got an 8.
Okay.
I don't got any points in that.
You're not unfamiliar with a brawl, so your attention isn't really drawn away, as you're just kind of focused on getting out of here. But most notably, across the establishment, at another staircase that seems to exit the structure elsewhere, you can see that there, along with two similarly like garbed, you can only imagine to be bodyguards. There is a rather ostentatiously like dressed, a very well-fitted suit individual, overlooking this conflict with a very like sour expression, as he seems to just be observing the group of individuals kind of throwing blows and otherwise. Yet as he's looking through, his eyes kind of fall onto your group, and his expression seems to soften in a moment, before just kind of like signaling to one of his men. Soon enough, they all just exit out the stairway, similarly to what you're doing.
Okay. They're not. They weren't like approaching us or anything, right?
No, but it seemed there was some reaction to seeing your group, but that was it.
All right. My guy's gonna, as he's walking out, he's gonna have one hand in his pocket, kind of just twiddling with his brass knuckles, ready
Okay.
for in case anything happens.
Okay. As you're all kind of like making your way out of the establishment, Giovanni and Gore kind of making their way up the steps, and you being slightly distracted by the individual at the end of the room, just see the briefest of shadows coming from behind you, as you can see the tall, spigoted shadow of a stool raised overhead just behind you. You can make a fight back check, I'm assuming, if you'd like.
Yeah, I guess because I was talking it, I like put them on real quick and they're trying fucking punch behind them.
Okay, go ahead and make a fight back roll, which is just your fighting skill that you're choosing to use.
I'm using brawl. 27,
Ooh.
which is a success.
As you see the shadow coming overhead, you quickly duck down. You see the stool and the arms get locked over your back, just dropping over you. You almost seem to just use your own body to kind of lock up his arms as he tosses the stool, bringing your left arm to jam it into his stomach. You just slam your brass knuckles right into his groin. You can hear the sound of like muscle and sinew crushing beneath the metal like gauntlet. Before, as you just hear, you just kind of like buckling onto the ground. You dogs! As he's just kind of like clutching his crotch, spitting some political nonsense at you as you just kind of like repocket the knuckles and make your way out of there.
Do I roll damage? Did I kill him in one shot?
I mean, you can roll damage if you'd like. I doubt you kill him, but
All right. How does one roll? I guess Foundry doesn't have a D. Well, I can roll a D3 manually, can I?
sure.
Let's roll 1d3 plus 1d4 plus 1. I think this should work. I did 6 damage to him.
You definitely broke something, and he's fucked. He's in immense pain, reeling over, drool kind of trailing out of his mouth as he's just spitting nonsense. But you can see his face is stretched, veins popping out of his forehead, his face twisted in pain as he's just clutching a bloodless wound that's at his crotch.
My guy kind of reaches into his coat pocket, pulls out a handkerchief, and just kind of dabs his forehead, puts it back, and walks out.
Did me or Noah see
Did we
this
see
occur?
that?
Yeah, I'll say you both saw that.
Oh, can I look at? Is the guy one of the guys that started the stuff?
No, it was just some patron, but
Just
you
some
imagine
random dude?
you imagine he aligned with with the more aggressive party and all this.
Oh, mio Dio.
Well,
Uh,
Mr. Wright, you got a hell of a hook. I'll give you that one. Now let's get the hell out of this establishment.
Thank you.
The
Yes,
car is
well,
just outside.
You all make your way to the car. Giovanni getting the doors for each of you. Before filing into
Get used to this.
before filing into himself. Wright immediately remembering he forgot his luggage in the taxi. I'm just kidding.
Shit. I thought I brought it out with me. I did. I was miming it.
I was
doing like
miming it.
that.
No, I'm kidding.
My trunk's kind of full. There's some shit back there. So
No, this is
You
Dead.
got a body back there.
This is your call, Giovanni.
I see. I've
Damn,
been
you,
fixing on it for years.
You boys get all the good stuff. All I got is some unmentionables. I ain't got no car. I'm a man who walks.
As you're all kind of socializing, you can hear the sound of like police whistles as you can see a group of half a dozen bulls making their way down and across the streets and officers as they seem to kind of like be coming to try to quell the chaos within the establishment.
When I unsuspiciously pull out, you know, be like, wow, oh my god, what's happening in there?
Do you know
Just
how
drive
far
away.
the 1C road is? We got 2 hours left.
Can I take a look at that map again?
I guess I'll hand you the map.
Map. And then I give it back to you.
So where do you want to go?
Well, I'm seeing how far my house is from where we are, and if it's like too far, then we'll just go immediately to the.
At this point in the night, it would be about a 40-minute drive, going from the Kreuzberg to the Grunwald. And the moment you see that he is saying he lives somewhere in the Grunwald, you're immediately wondering how much money this guy has.
All right.
Because that's like, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'll just say that you know this Giovanni as long. I'll also say Gore. You probably know this as well, but it is known to be the portions of the Grunwald. Not all of it, but residency there is generally like said to be like it's a manor colony. It's like outside the city, but not beyond the protective borders of it. Once you start going into the newly inhabited or incorporated like portions of Greater Berlin, it is this large expanse of like boreal forests and otherwise that hasn't yet been that is decorated by roughly under or a little over half a dozen lakes and otherwise. It's a very pretty area, but you've never actually driven through there yourself very much. But
I'd get profiled.
there are portions of it. No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we got a quick bit of time to kill. I know a nice little sandwich shop open around these hours. If you don't mind me grabbing a bite real fast.
It's what. If we're going to the house, it'll take us 14 minutes to get there, and I'm not sure how much it will take to get to where you want to go next.
Yes. I do believe I'm going to an Eden Hotel. Do you know what that is?
Everyone knows where the Eden and Hell Hotel is. That is pretty close. It's about a 10-minute drive from where you are. And it's in a very nice portion of town. It is located within the I don't know if you can see my cursors, but it's around here, around the Kreuzberg. It is surrounded by lavish hotels, nightclubs, and otherwise. It is a very high class area, but it is.
If the Mr. Wright, if you don't mind me saying, if the quality of buildings is anything related to the quality of the check I'll receive by the end of this, then I think I might really appreciate working with you sorts.
All right. Yeah, I do believe pay will be quite substantial.
I mean,
That's all a
looking
man if I can ask.
at the map, we could get to your home in 14 minutes. Do whatever you need to do there, and then we could come back in time. I think.
Yeah. The building of the Eden Hotel is located near the Augusti Victoria Platz, which is a very large and lavish city square within Berlin. Not the largest, but it's one of the nicer places.
Yeah, I'd like to drop off my luggage and just get settled in a bit before we head out. If that would you wouldn't mind. Well, I guess we can. You said there was a sandwich shop nearby. We can grab food. We should
Somewhere
have enough
along the
time.
way. Down one of them there streets. I never really see it from the back of a car. I'm more of a walker, as I said, so you're gonna have to give me a minute to reorientate myself.
If you want, I can put up the hood. Can
No,
Put it down.
that sounds nice. Sure. Pop that there top down a bit, and I'll see if I can't get my glances around.
see. I will do that, and then it's like popping the hood for a convertible, but it's not as cool because I actually have to manually be like, oh god, oh fuck, oh.
Yeah.
I'll do that, and then I guess point me in the direction of the sandwich shop you want to go to.
Start heading towards his house. It's somewhere on the way. I'll point you when we need to make a turn.
Okay, and then
Like
go-
halfway there, I just pointed like an offshoot real fast.
So where are we going?
We're going to
Alex's-
my house, but we're stopping at a sandwich shop to get some grub on the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a late night sandwich place.
On your guys' drive towards the Grunwald, find yourself pulling over to the haphazard directions of Gore, which takes you through a area of the city that is largely closed down, besides a single section of lights in this short section. You can see that there is, in fact, a single, rather tucked away sandwich shop slash deli. Seems they were just closing up, and you can see Gore run in with what money any of you provided him to collect some grub, coming back with whatever sandwiches you desired. Food's good enough.
Like,
Yeah, you definitely feel like you got their evening bread, but it's
I'm loving it.
slightly-
This is my cuisine, so I think it's great.
Do-
That
Holy
always
crap.
hits the dish spot. Now we can make our way back to that your house there, on that part of town. Oh, Giovanni, if you want to start making our way.
I see right away.
Hmm.
We drive in. There's no radio yet.
Ow.
I
There's
will
radio,
say,
but it's not in cars yet.
I put my AirPods in.
Little rich bastard.
as
You're gonna say,
a
Thomas?
oh nothing. I will say that as a Giovanni, as you begin to kind of pull your way out of this this neighborhood, kind of glancing around, you could have swore for a moment you caught a glimpse of a pair of like yellow eyes out of the corner of your eye stuck in one of the nearby boarded windows, but you quickly write it off as likely being just a reflection of like cat eyes or something in your car lights.
It's kind of spooky. What the fuck? Oh! I'm a fantastic driver.
Are you sure about that?
He does a triple
was that?
barrel flip and lands the car and continues
Is
driving his
something
own.
spookier?
Hey man, I got 70. Okay.
Oh, damn.
I don't know if it's you Italian boys, but you guys have some weird ways to be maneuvering these vehicles around.
I mean, if you drive it fast, you'd get there faster.
Are there speed
Logical.
limits in this time? I don't know.
I mean, probably yeah, but
First can't go faster than fucking like 20 miles an hour
Yeah.
in PT.
Time passes relatively smoothly, making your way across evening Berlin. And as you reach farther and farther outskirts, you kind of escape more. You pass by sections where all manner of different like goods and otherwise are kind of plied. Areas of dark and lightless areas of the city filled with the more grimmer realities of the approaching effects of the Great War. You can see areas of the city that's just been many of the buildings just feel like hollow, like hives, lightless beyond a few lit candle lights or otherwise, if any at all, as people move about or otherwise, if any at all. Some of the areas in the outer portions of the city have a definite feeling of emptiness at this portion of the night. But nonetheless, as you soon find yourself escaping the stone and railway cluttered interior of Berlin and escaping to the forest roads leading out into the Grunwald, you find yourself kind of cresting over this like large railed-in hill or road atop a hill, overlooking this like vast expanse of dark greenery, only dotted by these large lakes that kind of break the ever like expanse of it all. Along with this, and looking out over the area, you can see located at the far western side, aligning with this railroad track, is a massive amusement park. The lights are currently ablaze, kind of like parallel with the Grunwald, but you can see a large like Ferris wheel kind of like slowly turning, and otherwise. But nonetheless, you kind of make your way down the road, trying to follow the address to the best of your abilities, but it doesn't help. The map is probably the greatest aid in the car here, and I will have Giovanni, if you could make a navigation test for me.
Yeah,
What do you have with that?
pretty bad.
Yeah, you got a 23.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, well, shit.
I mean, if someone wants to help him, you can try, but
Help action. I mean, do I know what I'm looking for? Did I get pictures of my house?
I mean, you know what the house looks like, but you only have an address and you've never been to the Grunwald before. So you would be basically going purely off of what you know about the map and just being a second pair of eyes. So I can have both Giovanni and Wright make a navigate check for me.
Okay.
Make a separate
You
one
make
than
you
one
make them
already?
wholly separate. Only one of you needs to succeed though, for this one.
What did not just succeed?
Do I make a new one? Or
You
do I keep this one?
you can spend your luck points to manipulate your rolls. Remember,
Isn't that you just spend like?
it's a 1-to-1
what?
basis. So.
If I spent all my luck points, I would not succeed.
Giovanni, what'd you roll compared to your navigate?
Oh, do you want me to make a new one?
No. What'd you roll?
Because I rolled a 23 and I didn't get it.
You could spend 13 luck points and succeed, if you'd like.
Holy shit.
Fuck it. Yeah, let's go. I'll
So
do that.
subtract 13 from your luck.
Boopity-boppity, I have 17. All right.
Ooh, very Italian.
Yeah. Okay.
Boopity-boppity.
I'm lucky now.
You quickly find yourself as you're driving through this dark forest and kind of double checking with like you see Wright kind of brings his lighter up to help you see on the map as you quickly are losing light. But you see that he is just as lost, but he won't say it. You equally as lost, and you immediately recognize that you had missed a turn some time back. And as you're about to kind of like turn yourself in to turn around, you find yourself pulling into what seems to be and up to this like black gate. And atop the fence, you can see the name of the estate mounted onto the side of the fence that you definitely meant to pull into on accident.
Oh, I see ya. I'm the best driver here. It's right here. Let's go.
The lock on the black gate is a heavy chain, which you have the key for, right?
I will wait for my chauffeur to open my door.
I'll like get out of the car for a second and then like. Oh yeah, and then go over into it.
Is the top still down on the car?
Yeah.
Oh, I just hop out myself. I don't even open the door. I just hop over.
Hey, be careful, be careful.
Go ahead and make
Use the door.
Oh god.
Can I have you make a dexterity check?
All right.
Dents it. Are there plungers that exist in this time? You pop it out.
I succeed.
You succeed? Okay, good.
Yeah.
You hop out of the car without damaging Giovanni's car. You land onto the gravel road. No damage to be said.
Calm down there, Giovanni. Almost went to the wrong action on that one, but just hopping through. Don't you worry.
And with
Not
this-
even a ding.
And with the silence of the car, you can definitely tell that there is a different air to this section of the city. An escape from the claustrophobic innards of Berlin and the many hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of people that live within it. This almost eerie silence that has an element of calm to it out in this almost urban area, or not urban,
Suburban.
suburban.
Rural?
Rural. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. But nonetheless, right, you make yourself over, kind of unlatching the lock and kind of tossing it into the dirt to the side, pressing the gate open with the help of Giovanni, I assume. Soon enough, you're all finding yourselves back into the vehicle and pulling up this long gravel driveway, taking you to this, soon coming into view, this 2-story small manor that is just beside the Wannsee Lake. The early sunset casting these long rippling reflections off the calm waters of the lake. No boats out on the water at the moment, and little to no other manors kind of adorn its shores besides your own. It's a very beautiful establishment of white clay and oaken-like reinforcements that kind of decorate the otherwise interior of it to give it this very rural appearance, or almost like cabin-like appearance. Large panes of glass and otherwise rounded portions of it give it a very, no doubt, a great deal of natural light to seep into the building. 3 long brick chimneys kind of rise into the air ahead of it. And surprisingly, you can see that a few of the lights within the building are on.
You said this was your house there, Mr. Wright, correct?
Aye.
Did you hire any help to be putting this house here together?
Well, I do believe that there might be some workers here. I had to have furniture hauled in.
Well, alrighty then. Gore's gonna like walk up, but he's gonna be real cautious about it.
I am not carrying your luggage unless you ask me to.
Yeah, I'll carry my own luggage. I will not open that door to that car though.
The door is too much, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll carry the luggage.
Okay.
You got any way to get in here, or they
Also,
not
if you have
leave
the
good
picture
enough
still,
key?
could you post it in handouts for me, Alex?
Of course, I would love to.
I'm getting a little thick there, Mr. Wright.
My accent is all over the place.
It is a very lavish establishment. For those of you that have spent basically your entire life in like Berlin, it's not the largest manor or anything compared to the older buildings and great manors that are within the city or outside here, but it's definitely up there. A median between far above what you own, but still not the height of wealth. It's a rare thing to see outside of Berlin. Anything but like a suite or apartment-like to the worse, very compact residency that you can find within the city. So it's very, you have no doubt that this is a minimum of 5 bedrooms within it.
Jesu Cristo. This is magnificent.
Thank you.
Big
I'll
as
pull out my
hell, I'll give
keys.
you that.
As you all kind of like bring the car to the stop, you can see a moving light within the building before the door seems to kind of like open up, a dull like clink of the wood as it kind of creaks open. And stepping out, you can see a rather formally dressed man wearing a black and white suit or butler's uniform. You can see that he is on his face is a single thin mustache that kind of like seems to kind of like mount the upper portions of beneath his nose. And along with that, he has very short and well maintained graying hair He seems to be in his like early 60s, late 50s, you imagine. In his left hand, he seems to be carrying a oil-fed lantern. But nonetheless, he seems to be looking out into the establishment or to the new arrivals with a "Welcome to the estate, Mr. Wright."
Thank you.
He seems to be kind of like taking a step forward and approaching you with a very like regal formality. He kind of like sets the lantern on the ground. "Would you like me to take your luggage, sir?"
Yes.
He kind of like
I hand it
reaches
over
down.
to him.
"It is with honor to make you and your companions introductions. I am the caretaker of this estate. You may simply know me as Mr. Aspire, or Aspire. But I will see to it that your luggage makes it to your room. Do any of you need a bath or shower drawn?"
I think I'm doing all right, Mr. Asian. Well, sorry, I didn't catch that fully.
Aspire.
Aspire.
Whether you wish to tag my formality of Mr. is entirely up to you. I do not take offense.
I understand that. You can just call me Gore.
He seems to kind of tolerate for a moment, but without even phasing any of his emotion. "Of course, Sir Go. And for you, young sir."
How much time do we have?
"Apologies. I did not know you were in a hurry. Allow me to hurry." He grabs your luggage, and without saying another word, he takes it into the building, leaving the lantern out for you guys.
Look what you did, Giovanni. You scared him off.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to know if I could take a shower.
Well, we have to be there by 8:30. I think.
I ain't got no fancy timepiece.
Do you have a-
What's the time now?
I got a pocket watch.
I got a watch.
I'll take out my gold pocket watch.
That's why I was looking at my watch.
It's about 6:10 right now. In the late evening, the sun is setting right now, giving this like orange and red cascade of light over the entire like forest area.
What season is it?
Take us 40 minutes to get back.
It is. I can actually give you the exact day if you give me a moment, but you guys can continue doing your thing.
Sorry, checking my notes. It seems to be 8 p.m., not 8:30.
Well, it's
will-
about 2 hours. A little less, a little more.
How much did 1920 showers take, you think?
I made a mistake there. There isn't a shower on this residence, but there's baths. So
How much do baths take?
you would have to.
Generally.
Like how long?
Yeah, like
Probably-
Jada bath, and then you got like. get
It's
in
not
there.
like medieval where he has to bring in buckets. It's just he could start it for you.
I mean, I'd say like 30-minute bath, 20-minute bath, however once you want to relax, I guess.
It is June 21st. Wednesday.
If we're going to be meeting that higher ups, I think I would like to take a bath. Then I'm a little greasy.
Well, all right then.
Your
I
tail
don't
ends
know,
are
how
usually
many
greasy,
baths
so-
does this state have? Where's that? Mr. Aspire.
Yes,
Trying
sir.
to find him.
As he seems to kind of step out and approaching, he kind of picks up the lantern that he was once holding.
How many baths do we have on this estate?
The Lakeside Manor is home to about 5 bedrooms, each possessing a cupboard and closet of their own, comfortable mattress and otherwise, 2 of which possessing their own bathrooms and 2 guest bathrooms within the lower floors of the estate. A public kitchen in the first floor, and dining table and an entertainment area on the second floor, and a personal library and office along with it.
Oh my. All right, you two get the guests. I'll go make my way to my room then.
There, Aspire. May I make a small request of you?
Anything I can be of assistance for, sir.
You got any back on you? I need a bit of a light, so to speak.
Come again.
I got a light myself. I just need fuel.
Oh, of course, sir. You can see without hesitation he seems to open the front of the lantern, pulling out a match and hands you the match.
No, I think you misunderstand me. I need tobacco. I ain't got any on hand currently.
Tosses the match aside, and kind of looks over to you. Am I able to provide to said guests, sir?
I give him a nod.
Of course, sir. Come with me. And he seems to kind of like head back into the building. You kind of wait within the dining area as everyone else shuffles in, but soon enough he returns into the central dining area. A large oval oaken table sits in the center, a small chandelier kind of hanging above it, as he turns on the electric lights within the building, giving this very like dull glow to the entirety of this very well maintained and clean interior. You can see that there's a spiral staircase that seems to lead up to the wide spiral staircase that leads up to the second floor. But beyond that, you can see he returns out from the kitchen area with what seems to be a wide wooden box, and he sets it on the table and slides the lid back. It is filled with cigars.
I guess I take one.
Do you need a light, sir?
Well, never much for cigars, but I guess I stash my pipe and put it on. And I'm like going to reach for like my own little matchsticks that I have in one of my pockets.
Allow me, sir.
What
He lights your cigar for you.
Ooh, that's some quality. That's some quality green right there, I will say. You rich folk know how to do it right. You can pass my compliments on to Mr. Right himself. I think I'll wait
Aspire
here.
looks over to you, Mr. Wright. He gives regards.
Oh, I thought they were up in their bath. I didn't know he was right here.
Kind of.
I'm going up the stairs right now.
Oh yeah. You all.
Before I go in, I'm gonna get out of my trunk. I'm gonna get my Percal shirt.
Okay.
It's like a dress shirt like and tie.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because right now I have like my mechanic's outfit and my wife beater. So it's like, I don't know if
You
I
don't
want
Meet
to
look
your
go.
wife,
presentable,
Giovanni? I don't know if I can
Sorry,
accept that.
an undershirt. They weren't called that yet.
Yeah. Aspire collects you and kind of leads you down to a bathroom in the lower portion of the or the first floor of the building. It's rather compact, but it's got a bath, sink, mirror, and cleaned towels within it. The bath has already been drawn, or is in the process of being finished and drawn, and he kind of soaps the water in otherwise before exiting the room.
Oh, sweet. I can get in there, start smoking, because smoking indoors wasn't a bad thing yet. Just like.
Trying to blow smoke rings.
But I'll try to be done like in 30 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta do this fast. We don't want to miss our appointment.
Yeah, I'll try to be done like in 30 to 40 minutes or something like that, so we can drive back.
You two. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna ask Aspire something real fast, but if you wanna go through that.
I was just gonna say, right, you making your way up to your room and approaching the king's bedroom, you see that there is a large double or king size bed, a large dresser. The interior of the closet has already had a great deal of the clothing that you had imported here lined up and kept taken care of in the closet, hung up separated by jackets, pants, shirts, both buttoned or without button, vests and otherwise, socks, underwear, etc. Along with that, you also find that but nonetheless, there's plenty of space for the other equipment that you had brought in here. In your own suitcase, you kind of unpack it, however, organizing that however you want. But the room is very well maintained. The carpeted floors are, or not carpeted. The oak floors are polished and otherwise. It has a very like cabin-y feel to the entire interior of this place. The place definitely has age, but it's well maintained.
All right, I'll pick out a nice ivory suit from my closet to wear for the meeting.
Okay.
And I'll put the suit I was wearing in the hamper. I don't know what they do in 1920.
As you're currently working away, you can hear a few footsteps approaching, and as you are currently trying to get your suit kind of fitted and buttoned up, you can see Aspire kind of standing at the door, hands behind his back, as he kind of looks over to the row of hats along the left wall. Any hats for your outfit, sir?
I'll point towards a matching fedora.
Quite in style, sir. As he kind of hands you the hat.
Put that hat on.
Moments kind of pass before you hear both you and Aspire hear the sound of Gore calling out for your butler, and before a moment of, it seems I am needed, sir. As he kind of makes his way up. You can hear footsteps coming down the stairs. Gore, as you can see, Aspire standing there for you. You called for me, sir.
Hey, Spire, is there somewhere I can stash my coat a bit? It's got some precious commodities on it,
Of course,
so I
sir.
don't want it out of the open. I don't know how long we're staying though.
Of course, sir. I will have it cleaned before you are ready to leave.
Nah, you don't have to go that far. There's some stuff in there I don't want misplaced. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Do not touch. I just require it to be hung up for now.
Do not worry, sir. Subtlety is the key trait of a butler. Your things will not move. But these holes need repaired. As he pointedly seems to put a finger through some knife marks in the fabric of the coat, or cuts that have long since not been repaired. Not super noticeable, but aspects of, wear and tear of wearing it for something.
One or two of them might be just a little larger, more circular holes, but
He takes your coat away. Oh, sorry. What were you
Make
gonna say?
sure everything's back in them same pockets. Make sure everything's on the loops. When I hand it to him, there's an obvious metallic rattle of an obvious firearm.
Are there guns in that coat? Just so.
There is the shotgun is kind of stashed, kind of inside the inside the coat or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Of course, sir. As you can see, he is in the process of sitting at the dinner table and just gingerly setting. He has placed out a handkerchief, and he's just placing all the firearms that he's finding in the coat.
It's only the shotgun.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming there's ammunition in there too.
Yeah, there's ammunition stashed in a bunch of on the inside. It's the guy from Resident Evil 4 or whatever. And it's just pockets lining, and a lot of them are ammunition. There's a couple there's a couple matchsticks and a couple of the pipes in one of them, and then and then it's just got a couple more empty pockets. But yeah, no, and then a couple revolver ammo. But you can see behind in the back of his pants, he has a revolver, kind of the handle's jutting out.
Okay. But nonetheless, he's getting to work on it. Is there anything else that you all pointedly wanted to do or interrupt for, or could I just skip you all getting prepared?
I am great.
Yeah, you can just skip.
Okay. Right, you come back down to the first floor, dressed up and ready for your meeting, in a well-polished amount of time. You can see, just as you're leaving, coming out of the first floor bathroom is oh god, I know your name. Hold on.
Look at the Discord.
Giovanni, coming out of the bathroom. It seems he took a rather brisk shower, as not to make anyone late, or a bath, sorry. Coming out, his hair still partially damp, but he's kind of getting it fixed or otherwise getting his new attire on, but he's been cleaned of grease and oil, looking like a new man to go out on the town. Sitting and still puffing out smoke is Gore, who is only halfway through his cigar before he has to kind of like put it out. As Aspire approaches him with his jacket. Your jacket, sir.
I grab it and I. It feels nice. No, feels a lot snugger. You do good work, Aspire. And
I did adjust it slightly to be more your fit, sir.
well, that's kind of you. May or may not have nabbed this off a prize deal in a gambling ring, but it's always nice to, clothing makes the man, if you will. Nah, I reach into one of the many pockets inside, and on the table next to like the used cigar, I set a couple marks down. There you go, Wishfire. Not like a couple, but like enough to be somewhat noticeable as like a decent tip.
Wait, oh, you're giving him money?
I'm giving him a tip, yeah.
This is unnecessary, sir. I am already paid
Someone
quite
does a
high.
service for me, I pay for said service. Never call me cheap in this here town. So, and then I just kind of walk away from that at that point. I'm just like, you both ready to go tango with some of these employers?
Yeah. I do
See,
believe so.
I think so. I
All
got
right,
like, my
then.
jacket on my back, like.
Got my briefcase still.
Well, regardless, I will be retiring for the evenings, my good masters. I will be located, well, my room is on the first floor, but nonetheless, feel free to awake me if you need anything more. But I wish you good luck in your ventures in the city. I will be certain that the house is well taken care of.
You have a good night now, Espouse.
Buona notte.
Give him a little hat tip.
He gives you a bow before kind of like returning to a quarters that was near the bathroom that Giovanni was kind of like bathing in. You notice that he seems to go on to finish up some cleaning, removing the dampened towels, but nonetheless, you all make your way out of the car and begin driving back into the Berlin, heading towards the Eden Hotel.
Yeah.
Soon enough, the path much more familiar to you. The Eden Hotel is a place that you have been to before. Never actually in it. It's not a place that your blood can afford, but perhaps Giovanni, this is a turning point in your financial career. Soon enough, as you start making your way down this Broadway-like street, lights of all colors and otherwise, reds, blues, pinks, and fluorescent whites glow and illuminate this city square and streets and colors and lights and otherwise, illuminating the hundreds of people that populate the street at night, and it's this huge rush that seems to be going on as the city has almost taken an entirely different life than what it does, the much more duller experience it is in the daytime portions. As the sun is finally fully set and the sky is completely black, now the source of light within the city is fluorescent. Soon enough, however, you find yourself pulling upon a gold-brimmed or painted gold-brimmed structure, triangular in shape and kind of protruding out into this large square. Its architecture of red brick and otherwise kind of stretching high into the sky as one of the taller buildings in the area. And in the fluorescent lights above its red velvet-like arching rain cover above its circular kind of spinning doors, fronted by a group of individuals. As you kind of like pull up, you can see a few suited young individual kind of approach your car, two of which kind of like fanning out and opening the doors both for Gore and Wright as well as for you, Giovanni. The one opening the door for Giovanni immediately speaking. Welcome to your arrival at the Eden Hotel, sirs. Would you like us to park your car? Get out of the car. No, I'm kidding.
Promise to be
Slowly.
careful with her.
Well, of course, sir. This is the city of fun, after all.
And where will it be when we're done?
Simply speak to the front desk when you are ready to make your exit from the Eden Hotel, and we will have your keys and card returned to you before you can even leave the building, sir. Do you know how long you will be staying tonight?
I'll give a side glance to Mr. Wright.
I don't know. Do I know how long I'm staying?
It's a meeting,
It-
so probably not
It's a
like...
meeting. Well, I'd say tops of 2 hours.
Then we will simply keep it on nearby standby for you. Worry not, it will be in the care of the hotel. Under our insurance, after all.
Okay. Yeah, here you go.
The young boy kind of like takes the keys out of your hands. He's somewhere about like 16. He's far younger than you, but all these them have been trained in manners. He kind of like reaches out a hand to kind of help you out of the car. Same as all of you kind of exit out. The one that was speaking to you, Giovanni, kind of hops into the car, and as it's still running, he kind of drives it off and around the building. The two kind of like go back to their stations beside the spinning door to the interior of the building. As they kind of like gesture you in, all of you kind of like making your way through the spinning door, you can immediately get the sense of luxury within the structure. The air is tinged with the smell of like fine food and scented aromas that kind of fill the air, as well as the dull smell of perfumes of otherwise of high class prostitutes populating the diner area of this American bar Esca Grill that is titled above to your immediate right, where you can see wide seating of appropriated or a cultural attempt to try to make it an American-esque bar. A large wooden like stool populated like bar kind of stretches from the back, a glass row of like alcohol and otherwise, and many wooden aesthetic tables and booths kind of populate it. A large chandelier kind of hanging beneath it, but nonetheless, as you enter in, that is only to the immediate right down a like red velvet like staircase that leads into it. Beyond that, however, in this brightly illuminated like lobby area that is populated by finely dressed and likely higher wealth class individuals that are seemingly in dull conversation otherwise with individuals. You can see that there is a directly past them and down the lobby there is a set of two elevators, one of which is just coming down to the base of it. You can see the almost like fence-like front wall just above the where the elevator doors would be. You can see the metal casing of the elevator just coming down, the lights of it passing, and with it you can see the painted metal or painted gold doors seemingly prying themselves open, revealing a carpeted interior to a elevator. Stepping out are a few individuals, and along with it you can see that there is an individual there's no individual that's in the elevator, but beyond that you can see that there are lobby hosts or a check-in desk, if you will, to your immediate left in a small island area, and behind it is working a single spectacle wearing or glasses wearing brown-haired woman, seemingly wearing rather formal attire, seemingly absorbed in a collection of like registrars and books. Nobody seems to make any like outward, approach to you.
Mm-hmm.
This seems all very like relative high class.
All right, I'll approach the lady at the desk then.
Oh, why hello there. Welcome to the Eden Hotel. Are we looking to stay the night?
No, I have a meeting in a room 415 Omega.
She seems to kind of think over the number for a moment. I am sorry to say, sir, but our rooms and residency ends at room 414 on the 4th floor. Perhaps that floor is something you need to find in the elevator. But allow me to check the meeting list. As she kind of turns and seems to flip through a book, kind of turning the pages. You can see she seems to speak something into the microphone in a language you all don't quite understand. Before taking the finger off the microphone, and it seems you're all checked out for your meeting. Have a wonderful stay at the Eden Hotel.
Alright. I'll make my way towards the elevator.
I'm
Okay.
just following. Just like I thought that was weird. I'm kind of eyeing anything not nailed down.
Oh, I'm sorry. She meant to say the 414 ends on the 5th floor, but that was bad. Because the ground floor doesn't count as floor, so there's a 5th floor.
Okay. So we're intended to go to the 5th floor.
As you kind of
Let's go
make
to the
your way,
elevator.
as you make your way into the elevator, the door's still open. You can see that there's a gold paneled frame, and on it you can see that there are a collection of buttons ranging from 1 to 5, lined up in a linear fashion, and along the top row of it, you can see that there is on the top right, a fire alarm button, and on the top left, there is a emergency halt. And in the center of it, you can see that there is a metal omega symbol that is imprinted in the metal, but not like a button, as far as you can tell. Or at least not obviously one.
I push the omega. Fuck it. See if it is a button.
It sinks in, it doesn't sink in. Nothing seems that. Just seems to be an inlay. Or not an inlay, but an expanse in the metal.
All right, I'll hit the top floor.
You hit the 5 on the floor button, and as you seem to be kind of raising up to the top floor, it soon opens, and it opens up into this very well carpeted of decorative deep reds and dark brown carpeting, along with these golden red wallpaper of this flowery design. All the doors lining the hallway are of red oak, and it is a relative hotel-esque smell up here, but it is all very fine, and you can tell that the entire structure and hallway is in a V shape. So the hallway will go and then turn off and then come back, and those are the two sides of the elevator. You'll all take a moment to kind of look over all the doors and otherwise, and it ranges from 400 to 414 on this floor. Looking at your watch, you can see it is
Secret doors.
go ahead and use spot hidden.
Can I look as well, or?
Okay. You can go ahead and roll spot hidden as well, Gore.
I'm gonna spot that hidden door that isn't there.
Nah, I failed.
As you kind of look around the structure, and kind of you can see Gore is kind of looking around the walls for some trick. Right, you kind of passively make your way down the hall, looking at one of the red doors of 414. You kind of glance through the peak hole in the middle, and immediately find yourself met with a visage most foul. A rather plump individual in a romp right now. You quickly blink the image out of your mind. Go ahead and make a sanity test for me.
Oh God.
Oh, yo.
This is
Yo.
awful.
Some lady fucking.
That's a
Jesus
1.
Christ.
Is that a critical?
That's a
success?
critical.
Is that-
You're able to blink it out of your mind. It doesn't have an effect on your sanity, but it is a bad image seeing, you're not sure who would pay for a woman of that size or a man of that size. You're not really sure.
Well, fuck.
It was a bad image.
I spotted. I shouldn't have succeeded on that spot hidden. Oh God. All right. Well, fuck. I don't quite rightly know. It isn't 414. I know that now.
It's about 7:45 at the moment.
We got 15 minutes to find this fucking thing.
You sure they didn't just give you no wrong message on where this
Well-
meeting be taking place?
Giovanni, while you're
Oh.
still sitting in the elevator, just kind of like watching these guys kind of talk, can you make a no roll for me?
Yeah.
Did you share what room it was with these guys, by the way? I think
mean,
you said it.
out loud. Yeah.
Okay.
I did not pass.
You did not pass? Okay, you don't
It's
know.
a 98. Yeah, I don't know.
You get the feeling that you may have gone to the wrong building. Maybe it's the wrong floor. You get the feeling maybe it's 414. Not sure. Maybe you should say it to somebody.
I don't feel that.
Hey, Giovanni
Did
wants
I-
to go take a quick gander, then he can.
Did I see right press that little button thingy?
He tried to. It didn't go in.
Now that we're up here, I'm gonna try it.
Pushing the Omega symbol,
Yeah.
it doesn't budge.
Dang.
I make my way back to the elevator.
Okay. Right,
Uh,
is there anything else you want to do on the 5th floor?
No, I'll head back to cause that lady, she said something about the elevator, correct?
Yeah. You definitely get the feeling she knew something, but she didn't feel the need to say
Yeah.
anything more.
Alright. I'm gonna try spot hidden in the elevator is what I'm gonna try to do when I get back to the elevator with everyone.
I was gonna try pressing something, if you'll allow me to
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
while he's doing spot hidden.
What do you want to do?
I'd like to press the 5th floor button, and then while I'm pressing that, press the Omega button. Well, the Omega symbol.
As you hit the 5th floor button, the button lights up, and a few seconds pass, and then you hit the Omega button, and it does not go in. And as the light fades away after a few seconds, the doors close, and then they open again.
Well, I reckon someone gave you some bullshit information. I better be
I'm
getting
gonna
paid
hit
for this.
I'm gonna hit 415.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
You hit 415. And all the lights seem to come on. A few seconds passed. And then the doors close. And you guys go from fourth floor.
Oh no.
you go from the 3rd floor, sorry, to the it's the 4th floor, the 1st floor to the 5th floor again. And then you're back at the top.
Well, I thought I figured it out there.
Can you make a no check with a I'll say a benefit die with that one?
What's a no check?
It's education, I believe.
Education.
I'll
And then
double
the
check
di-
that after the
and then
session.
the
but
die is just a D10.
It's a
No, that's
D10,
good.
and you can swap it for a better result.
You can swap the D10
So,
in the
Yeah,
oh,
so if you rolled a
that's
67, and then you roll your extra D10, and you roll a 1 on that, you can make it a 17 if it's a benefit die.
Well, or
You
I
want to
can
make it
either
a 94 or
yeah,
a
a
79?
94 or a 74 or a 79, which neither succeed.
You guys can see, Wright's face is starting to get a little bit beet red.
After we traverse
the inklings
the-
of frustration kind of appearing on his face, but he's still holding it in.
After seeing Wright go through pressing the buttons, I want to go. It said it was 415 Omega, right?
Yep.
I go 415, and then I touch the Omega symbol.
You hit 4, the button lights up. 1, the button lights up. 5, the button lights up. And then when you hit the Omega symbol, it sinks in. And you hear a click, a ding in the,
Oh
let's
the
go.
elevator.
God.
I was
Role
so
playing.
close.
You hear
Wait.
the
That's a cockamamie elevator if I've ever seen one before.
ding. The elevator begins to drift upward to a floor above.
Wait a minute. Is there a floor
Oh.
above?
Thank you, Giovanni. Or not Giovanni. Gore. Thank you as well, Giovanni. I know you helped.
I see.
He held the
I'm a helper.
elevator door.
And as you are all kind of making your way up, we will take a brief intermission before you guys go into this meeting.
I was so close.
Honestly, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have figured out because I was like, wait a minute,
Ah,
415, but we need 450.
all right. As the elevator seems to continue its rise before opening its golden doors and revealing to you a narrow hallway, a single velvet carpet leading forward, and on the sides of the walls you can see varying different flags before approaching what seems to be a single double red door. As you all kind of step your way out of the elevator and approaching the red door, you can see its golden handled frame immediately swing open as a single silhouetted figure, slim, with a sunken face, but what seems to be a an individual dressed in, or a rather dour-looking chauffeur, if you will, wearing black khaki pants, a single belt wrapping around his waist, and a tucked-in red buttoned-up shirt that he seems to be wearing. As he seems to swing the door open to greet you, you can see the prince has been awaiting your arrival. Welcome inside. He seems to kind of pull himself back and gesture you in. And as you all enter in, you seem to be walking into a very lavish suite. Gold artistry and lining seems to line many of the wooden framing in here. Lit candles and firelights seem to illuminate much of the room, giving it this almost like romantic aura. A large dome glass like window pane mounts the entirety of this like central living area, overlooking the zoo and forest area of the outside green of the city, or city park outside the hotel. The hotel beyond the or the suite seems to be decorated with a bar on the left and hallways that seem to disappear into living quarters, and on both the left and right side, many different rooms seem to be decorated. You wouldn't be too far off to guess that this entire floor at the top of the building is probably dedicated to this one suite. As the door gets closed behind you, you can hear a shuffling of wood. As approaching each of you is this rather dour looking chauffeur. Would any of you care for a cigar? As he seems to peel open a box of large, thick cigars.
Hi, I'll have one.
He hands you one
I'm
without
good.
a word. He shuts the box and kind of sets on the table behind him.
Sorry, I had my mouth full there. I'd like to take a cigar as well. You rich folk are gonna get me hooked on these damn things, I can already tell.
He kind of moves away from the box as you're kind of talking, not to turn around to go and retrieve you another one, but the box is still there if you want to grab one. As he's walking, you hear, as he kind of like walks past you all, hands in his pockets, his long face kind of stretched, as he seems to look out the glass for a moment, then back at you. Kito nibud, zakochet vibit? As he seems to look at you all for a moment.
What is that language?
As he seems to walk away. Not waiting for a response as he seems to go and kind of stand behind the bar, seemingly to resume some cleaning process.
I like whisper to Wright. He's kind of a creepy little bastard, I'll say that much.
Yeah. Is there anyone specific, like, man just waiting?
No, you hear
I'm here.
as that thought comes into your mind, you hear the clink of metal against fabric and very pointed steps approaching as you see entering in from the right side hallway. Do not mind him. He has always been a rather pointed individual. Kind of gesturing in in an almost somewhat elegant but flamboyant manner, is a man garbed in these very lavish and formally like cavalry uniform, dressed in like medals and a sash that comes across his shoulder. Those little like tufted military, like, I forget what they're called. They're like the fabric like laces that come over the shoulder. You know what I'm talking about? He has a cavalry sword hanging from his hip and otherwise. I will post a picture of what he looks like in chat. He has a fairly like long face, similar to the chauffeur, sunken eyes, and short and light brown hair. He's clean shaven, and seems to be wearing a very pointed monocle and inset into one of his eyes.
Oh, he's a wizard. He's got a monocle.
And it is in handouts.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Haven't seen it yet. Ooh.
He was asking, of course, if any of you would care for a drink. I'm happy to offer any hospitality that the chauffeur. Well, English is
ask
not
her.
his first language.
I gotta ask her. Is this meeting's business, correct?
Formally, yes. Of course, I would like to keep, hospitalities kind.
That's fine. That just influences my choices. Hey there, get me a quick round of, a light round of whiskey real quick.
Zidor. A round of whiskey on the rocks. Had he already offered you cigars?
As I puff my cigar in my mouth.
Fine enough. Well, while Zidar is getting the drinks, how about we take a seat? Enjoy the view of the nearby zoo. The city of Berlin is rather lovely this time of night. He kind of takes a moment and situates himself in a large velvet, single-seated, chair that seems to overlook the scenery. Across from him is or to his immediate left is a small, night table. And across, opposite of him and looking out in the scenery is a couch. Along with that, there's another chair similar to his own in the far opposite side, but...
Dang.
Yeah, we'll take.
Oh.
I was gonna take a seat.
Yeah. Giovanni's he's wonderstruck. They're this place and what's happening a little bit. He's like, wow.
No need to be shy, boy. Royalty or not, you're more than welcome here, as I imagine you are employers under employers.
I see, but royalty.
Oh, where are my manners? I am Prince Gabriel Konstantinovich, at your service. And I must say, my thanks know no bounds for you taking the time to answer my summons on this delicate matter.
Now, which connection do you hold to royalty? How distantly related are we talking to, say, the Kaiser? Oh, Wilhelm II?
I'm the king of the world. Or sorry, prince of the world.
My exact position within the line is not important at the moment. What is important is the matters that I represent. And as he's seemingly speaking, you can see the chauffeur seems to return with a platter of drinks. Even for those of you that didn't ask for a drink, he grabbed one anyway. He sets one next to the prince, hands one to each of you, and those of you that don't grab it, he just sets on the table in front of you before gathering the platter and heading away. Along with it, he hands sets a newspaper on the stand beside the prince.
Take off my coat, sit down, swirl the drink a bit, have a quick shot.
I will also say that, right, you immediately recognize that he was the man you saw at the bar. He's wearing different attire now, but...
Oh. No, dude, hold on that. Were we late? What time is it? Did we fuck up?
No, you made it on time.
Yeah. We weren't caught up with the elevators for too long. All right. Well, I've been sent here, and I found some extra hands. What exactly is this business we're going to be doing here?
I could not be more eager to explain to you the exact reasons of my summons of you today. And your reputation of how your employer explained to me precedes you. So I have no doubt that these men that you have chosen to assist you in this matter are quite fitting of the role. As for where to start, I have summoned you here tonight because you possess special skills. Skills that may aid me and the parties I represent in a most macabre of investigations. You are all no doubt aware of the great tragedy that befell the Shah Nicholas and his family. He seems to look down for a moment and shake his head. May the saints bless them and keep them. Nearly 4 years ago in the city of Ekaterinburg, there Bolsheviks, slime, gunned down the royal family. I have personally visited the site, in disguise of course, and confirmed that the royal family was there. I have seen the bullet holes, I have taken photographs, even here. Oh, did I mispronounce something?
No,
Oh shit, Seth!
That's camera.
Seth's cat just shut off the fucking computer. You could see him. He's like, oh shit, no. I gotta get this thing off. Quickly. You can see him.
I just saw Alex
me,
So I was-
me and Alex were just like, that's fucking.
we'll
hilarious.
pause
Yeah.
for a second, wait for him to come
Yeah.
back.
I saw him drop out on Foundry. too.
Don't worry,
Hey!
we paused.
Hey.
Where were you at, Seth, in the conversation? I can't hear you.
He's saying piss bottle, piss bottle. Oh. Oh shit, we're all fucked up on the screen, aren't we? Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Which side do I gotta go?
Except for me, I'm good. It's my
Wow.
camera, so. Welcome back, Seth.
Alright, now I'm officially back.
Could you hear what I said
Uh,
a second ago? Not while I was talking. I was asking where did we lose you in the conversation? Because I just paused.
it was like he was just discussing like the Tsar Nicholas and his royal family were gunned down in Ekaterinburg.
Okay. I'll just resume after that. May the saints bless them. May the saints bless them and keep them. Nearly 4 years ago, in the city of Ekaterinburg, there Bolshevik, the slime, gunned down the royal family. I have personally gone to visit the site and confirmed that the royal family was there. I have seen the bullet holes. I took photographs. He seems to gesture and pull out an envelope, or a wide envelope, and pulling out of it, you can see he sets a series of photographs onto the table in front of you. Here you see. A photograph marketing upon the wall. And here, I found the Sarah's journal wedged into the crack of the wall. You see the mark upon the wall, and the symbol on the journal is the same. The swastika. A good luck symbol. And I will post the pictures of the...
Ooh.
But you say Utu, it hasn't been posted yet.
Haha. Good poke.
I said ooh because it was. I didn't realize there's gonna be actual pictures.
Kind of cute.
They're in the
Yeah, I
handout
guess
section.
this is a module.
Oh,
Whoa. Also,
Oh.
Seth, I'll post this in Tom's game. But this is the where your camera
Picture,
left off
moments
now.
before disaster.
Yeah.
Oh, a
He
good,
seems
a
to-
good image.
like
He
that
seems-
Pepe about the swing.
He seems to note that moments with an element of grimness to it, as though the talking about the execution of the royal family puts a distaste in his mouth. Before moments, he seems to pull up a newspaper and reading through it. You can see that the text is clearly Russian. The hateful face of Karl Grossman stares out of the photograph on the front of the page. The papers reported that this Grossman recorded names of women, possibly his victims, in his journal. One such name was Sosnovsky, or Sosnovsky. This name likely means nothing to you, but it means a great deal to me and the other interested parties. We believe it may refer to the Polish peasant girl calling herself Franziska. Oh God. I'll just put it in chat. I can't say that.
I was gonna say, you want to post it? Because some of us could try our hand.
My notes are fucking just gibberish. I have no idea any of these words that are coming out.
Franziska.
Franziska Shamskowska. Yeah.
Shemskovsk.
The important
Shamskowska.
name is Sosnovsky, and I'll put that in chat as well.
Says Novsky.
Sosnovsky.
Yeah, I definitely didn't spell that right.
Sosnovsky.
Or similar. The date in Grobsman Journal is from over 2 years ago. Too much time may have passed to gain a real answer, yet I must try. I ask you, with the murderer now dead, in his cell, and the answer to our question seemingly out of reach, will you help me, to the best of your abilities, to learn whether Karl Grofsman did indeed murder Franziska Shamskowska? I said that correctly. Pretend I did. In February 1920. I am more than willing to pay, of course, for your efforts here, to an amount of 3 rubles a day. That is $15 a day.
Damn.
Plus expenses, which I would go on to say that this is a most generous rate.
Looking like my eyes are big.
All right. Do we have any legal pull here with the dealing with you? I imagine we can't go marching around other people's property.
It is, of course, my understanding that in many areas this case is believed closed. The murderer is dead. His body hangs within the cell of his, where he was going to be tried. I'm certain you can find a great deal of information near his whereabouts of where he formerly made his work or in the newspapers. But as for legal pull, my parties and myself included would like to keep our interests subtle. It is the princess's life that we are dealing with here. If of course she is still with us.
All right then. And do you have any specific location where he might have housed himself before he was imprisoned?
The papers have not made it quite clear, but they have released the knowledge of where he used to ply his trade. It is my knowledge that this was within the... You already know this from the paper you read earlier. Within the Keats district. Kietz.
K-I-T-Z-E district.
Oh,
Of course I knew that. I remember that from when you said it. Those
I might have
hours
lied
ago.
to you.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
Of course I didn't know that. That was false information.
It is in the fried Rickstadt, which I'll just post in chat and not make.
No, I already found it. It's to the right, like up right where Kreuzberg is.
Oh, I'm good. Jeez, it's all caps.
Friedrichshain Friedrichshain.
a rather hotbed area of the city. I would keep. I do hope that you have brought some weapons close. I understand the Germans to be very stringent in their laws against guns right now. Understandably so. But it is, I believe, in your best interest to stay armed in this area. Who knows what these slums have in store for people? People
I
get
should know
desperate.
that place. I live in that area.
You have chosen capable allies.
And are you two armed?
I have a pistole in the glove box.
Well, I like open my coat.
That is illegal, you know, young man. He says coyly. Uh,
I like stand up, open my
Look at
coat.
this in my head
Well,
now.
you just see like
he's giving
a
you shit. He
60
doesn't care. He's not.
Yeah.
But it's
Give a
the
fuck.
prince.
He's
It's
foreign
the
royalty.
prince. He's giving me money.
16 gauge shotgun is like there's like straps going inside the coat, but it's just kind of like going up it. All I ever know, I'm a quick draw, if you will.
Oh my, yeah, you hide that well.
I believe you would be able to find a great deal. At least my term of advice would be to search around the Andreaplatz and its surrounding districts, which of course includes one of the hunting grounds of this man. The one I just mentioned. Andreaplatz is like a collection of area, so I don't know if you can see it on the map, but it is.
Well, you can see the Friedrichstein.
Friedrichshain.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's basically the main one.
Okay. Oh, it might be. Maybe it's. Oh God, Jesus.
It's Landsberg Tenements, number 11, which is just northwest of Friedrichshain. What are we looking for?
Andrea Platz. I believe. I'm trying to see if it's one of the points of interest,
I don't think.
but I don't think it is. Yeah, I see something close to it. I see Samer Platz, but I don't think that's it. All right.
It's a it's a square within Friedrichshain. You see it noticed or mentioned in the paper.
All right.
All right.
So, just to be clear on things, we're to see if this late Mr. Grubsman did murder Sosnowski.
I am paying you to hopefully bring about the truth, to me of course, and not openly, of what occurred to the young princess. Whether of course it is true that she was murdered in 1920. If she is alive, as I do hope she is, it would be of great benefit to both your pockets and the hearts of the men I represent if she were to be brought back to us. We have found that the city of Berlin is not a safe place for our princesses.
Alright then. Do you have any personal matter on Grubsman other than obviously this situation, but the suicide? Is there any input you have on that? Is it actually a suicide?
I would believe so. Especially with how quickly the news picked up on it. Of course, you could go to the area in which he was kept, but I don't imagine they would just let you see his cells. Unless you had the backing of one of the reporters or reporting stations. But for now, we can apply as much truth. The city of Berlin has no love for cannibals. I would hope not.
Alright then. So, Gore, you said you live out in the Friedrichshain.
Friedrichshain, yeah. I got flat out there. space ourselves out there for now while we try to dig deep in the little burrows this man could have been hiding in.
And right, cause I'm currently new to the city, Gore. Do you have any contacts out there? Anyone, reporters, anyone of law, anyone who might have a bit more information for us around that area?
Are you talking about me? Talking to
No,
Prince?
I'm talking to Gore.
Well, I might know a guy, though it might cost us. He ain't
In
no
what way?
cheap. His lips may be loose, but they're loose only at a pretty penny, pretty mark, whatever you want to call it around here. I'll see what I can do. I gotta chat with him a bit about it. I got a couple other people, maybe not in.
What are you trying to figure
Origin.
out if you have?
We're looking for contacts to see. I was just asking him if he had anyone in his backstory that could help us in this situation, essentially.
You want to make a class or a social class roll? Credit score, sorry. Seth.
Oh, all right. So do I use credit rating?
Yeah, you use your credit rating. Sorry, not credit score.
What's your credit score?
It's just.
What's your social security number?
Ooh, I got a 19. That's a nice success right there.
Okay. What kind of area would you want help in? Or want to know someone from?
Bit of like a dirty cop in the area was my thought process, or like someone who might know a thing or two, like kind of on the law side.
Your time within the area around, or within Friedrichshain is, it is easily known as being one of the poorest and beaten up areas of the city. So thus, it is often a place of crime and otherwise. And this has, of course, led to some police within the area being a bit more lenient with the people there, or harsh in some cases, but none more so or bendable to the allure of either money or whores than the bull known as Shivik. A rather right-sided Russian man. Not the prettiest of men, but rather well built, living within the area. One of the various like flats there. And he's more often than not one of the law enforcement in the area.
Yeah, I know a guy. I'm gonna have to get in contact with him. We can potentially make we can make our way in the morning. I don't want to dig deep into what he could be doing at this type of hour.
All right, and probably not very fruitful. But Giovanni, you have anyone?
No. I don't. Not anyone that lives over there. I suppose we could see. We could go ask Herr Seidel again for help, but I don't know if he'd know too much about this. I kind of like. I say, and it's like I believe what I said, but I might not believe what I said.
Mm-hmm. Okay then. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to start off with minimal resources here, but as I looked back towards the prince, I do believe we can take this job for you.
Are you
You're
muted?
muted, sir. You're muted, sir. I cannot hear a single thing you say.
Oh. That is a extreme relief to say that I can leave this rather complicated matter in the hands of professionals to look it over. And as he is talking, you can see his watch begin to let off this dull, like clicking sound as he. Oh, how the time flies! It seems I have another meeting coming up in a few minutes. Perhaps I could allow you to move on to your employment. Worry not. Your payment will be awaiting you at suitable times in the investigation.
You said
Alright.
3 of these rubles a day?
I believe I said 2, but which is whatever's $15.
I think he said 5.
Yeah, it's
I
3.
thought I heard
3
Oh.
rubles. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I think it's rubles. I don't know.
Rubles, I'm not really sure either.
Rupees.
Rubles. There's a B in there. It's rubles.
That is correct. And perhaps if you
Nice.
do your job well enough, and well, if things work out as we hope they do, perhaps there is more of a bonus at the end of it all. The parties
Let's
that
get
care for the climax of this situation care greatly. The royal family has gone through a great deal already. To ease their burdens, even in the smallest amount. No amount of money is too little.
I see. We will do what we can to get that bonus.
Oh, Prince, you speak sweet nothings to me, and I'll do whatever you need.
Well, I am happy to flatter you, but it does not change the fact that I do need to speak with another.
No, that's fine. Get up. Don my coat real fast.
Do not
Good doing
misunderstand.
business with you. We'll see what we can find. Start making my way out.
If ever you need to speak to me, he gestures to the chauffeur who approaches right and hands you a red trim card. A single like landline seems to be printed on the face of it. There is our person of phone. If not, you can see us here.
Alright, well, thank you.
Good hunting to you all. He gives you all a bow and pulls himself up.
Tip of the fedora.
You all make your way out of the suite and into the elevator. And as you hit before you even hit any buttons in the elevator, it closes behind you and just takes you all the way down to the first floor.
Oh, the ground floor?
Yeah. Or yeah, the ground floor. You find yourself milling out of the establishment, I imagine, and coming back into the already prepared and started vehicle of Giovanni.
Let's get in.
So, where are we headed next, then? Are we dropping you off at your place, Gore?
I'm gonna be honest. You can drop me outside of Friedrichshain. I don't. Vehicle like this driving through where I live might be a bit too on the nose.
Alright,
I'll
and
meet
any
you-
more specific we should meet?
I'll meet you tomorrow at. Hold on. Tomorrow, say about 9:30ish, depending on when y'all get up. Meet me at the Residence Casino, number 8 on the map in the clubs and cafe section. It is blue. It is on the left side, a little outside of Friedrichshain.
Alright. That sounds good.
You just wanna, little Joe, if you wanna just drop me a little on like one of the bridges, I can make my way back.
Alright, can I do?
So wait, where are you wanting to be?
We're just dropping him off on the edge.
Oh, you're meeting at the Residence Casino?
Yeah, number 8. Blue
That's
8.
tomorrow, though.
Tomorrow,
Oh, okay.
'cause
So you're
it's like late. He's dropping me off like at one of the bridges to the south of Friedrichshain, and then I'm just walking home basically.
Yeah.
okay.
Cause I was like, poor shit, car like Giovanni's, don't want that shit trying to get jacked.
Can I have Oh wait. Okay, so you're getting dropped off at your suite or your flat, and then you're going back to your estate?
Basically, yeah. I was gonna ask Giovanni some questions after we drop him off, but
Okay. go ahead and as you all kind of drive into the rough suburbs near Frederikshavn, it is a definite change from the glowing and alive nightlife throughout the city. You can see. Sorry, go ahead.
I was having them drop me outside of Friedrichshain.
And then you're walking home.
Yeah, so like I don't know if you can see my mouse.
I
Like
cannot.
this bridge here.
Oh, I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
can.
bridge like to the left of 9. I was just gonna have them drop me there, and I was just gonna walk home. How do you do that?
Okay.
X, hold X, and then
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
You find yourself dropped at the dull stone bridge as you kind of make your way into the across the bridge into Friedrichshain or Friedrichshain.
all right, then we'll meet you tomorrow.
Yep. Residence Casino. Don't forget. About 9:30ish, I'd say 9:30. Just show up. I'll be there waiting.
Okay. You start making your way across the bridge and towards your home. The other two drive off and into the night across the city. The car rumbling through the dark, shallow streets, avoiding the drunken pedestrian walking across deftly as though he has been around this town all his life. Wright and Giovanni are in the car. Is there anything you
Alright.
guys want to talk about?
Yeah, Giovanni, do you need anything, equipment-wise?
What we're going to do? I'm not really sure. I have the pistole in the tank box over there. I have tools on me. I have, that kind of stuff. I have, car fixing equipment in the back. I have tire pumps, that kind of thing. But maybe, if I could get my hand on some spare metals and things.
Like
I have an idea. Sorta. Like a rods, that kind of thing. I have an idea for about maybe making things quieter.
All right, I guess you drive us there. After that, do you know anywhere we can buy a phone?
See. I can go. We can go to a store. It might not be open by now, but we can see.
All right. If not, we can try and maybe drive, get it on the way there tomorrow.
We're gonna get silencers.
Oh, you're
There's
gonna make
something I-
silencers?
Seth, you there? Okay. As you all begin to continue your way back to the estate, I will be.
Oh. Alex, did you want us to do our stuff now or tomorrow?
Well,
Like,
if you
when we
want to
wake
pick up
up.
your shit now, you can do that. And if stores are open, I want to buy a telephone now. I don't know if stores are open. It's like 8:30 or something. Are stores open?
Not general goods stores, really. It'd be kind of a hard search in some areas. You could probably find something, but most of what is going on at this point in the evening is like clubs, night houses, brothels, flesh peddlers, stuff like that.
I'll get.
You could probably find something, but you'd have to search a bit for it at this time.
I think I can pick up my things in the morning and when we work on it another time. But let's go find you a phone, huh?
Yeah. Let's go.
There's
I'll go
phone
find you a
booths like
phone.
in the city too. So like,
Yeah, but I want to buy specifically a desk phone bridging type. I think. Whatever I can use to call the number that I get.
I think that needs to get installed, like in your house, like a landline. At this point in time, like of history, I don't think you could just buy a phone.
All right, I'll ask Mr. Aspire to do that.
Can you install a landline to my house?
Yeah, I'll have him deal with it. All right,
Okay.
never mind. Don't do that. I misunderstood the technology.
No, okay.
I mean, we'll figure that out after the session, I guess. So, but, I would like to resume with Seth.
I don't know what he's doing. So what's your story then, Giovanni? What made you run away so quick from Mr. Seidel.
Money.
Oh my. Well, you're honest at least.
Testing, testing, testing.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hola.
All right, my thing wasn't working for a second. Sorry, I had to use the bathroom because I thought we were gonna go with those two, and I didn't realize you were gonna finish so fast on them. All right, I am ready. Sorry.
As you find yourself long past the bridge into, let's say, oh shit, sorry. This calls. Was that really loud? Sorry.
It's so. Oh yeah, I gotta turn that down. Holy fuck! This is the
Well,
first
mine was
time
down, so
music has even played for me. I've been just playing my own.
Oh, I've been hearing music the entire time.
I've been hearing it quietly.
My Foundry's always fucked with music, so.
Sorry, I just gotta find this thing.
You see Cthulhu rising out from the city streets.
Yeah.
All right, as you are kind of making your way far past the bridge already and through the rather cramped portion or cramped streets of this portion of the city, dark silhouettes kind of moving about on the street along with you. The populace is few and far between, mostly focused in the square around the of the Andrisplatz, a small square in the center of the or section of this portion of the city. But nonetheless, in the areas you're walking around are rather dark. Many of the buildings are kind of boarded up or lightless. They're not business, or this isn't really the nightclub area of the town, or at least in this portion of Friedrichshain. Yet nonetheless, you find yourself suddenly feeling the sense of unease in the air. As you're kind of like walking along, you can see stumbling out of one of the doors to your at one of the nearby buildings. You can see that there is a man, his hands kind of stretched over his face, as you can just hear as he seems to kind of be clutching onto the hand railing as he kind of like clutches, and as it you can see through the laces of his fingers with a final like exhalation, he seems to just as though there are no like eyelids on his face at all. He seems to kind of take his hand away from his face. You can see his mouth is stretched into this like disgusting like grin. His eyelids are literally like peeled back into the sockets as though forcefully held there by the muscles unnaturally and inhumanely. The balls of his eyeballs are nearly about to burst, yet they are inhuman, glossy, and a dull yellow. As you just hear this like low seem to like echo out from beneath his chattering teeth. You kind of bring your feet to a slow halt, and as you do so, his eyes quickly like lock with you, roughly about half a dozen feet down the street from you. But you feel this like cold chill run down your spine as you almost get the sense that you are not looking at something or someone human. Can I have you go ahead and make a sanity check?
Ooh. And he's
Hey, guess who sucks at those?
We're fine.
You.
You should go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
do it based
already-
on POW, right? like
It's
current
your sanity. Yeah,
Current
it's
sanity.
whatever your current sanity is, not your POW.
Oh, that's probably good.
Can I use luck?
Oh, do you fail with that? Oh yeah, you
I
do.
fail, yeah.
You have a 25.
I have a 25, yes.
You cannot use luck to modify sanity checks.
Ah, well, alright, so I fail.
I don't believe you can. But in this situation, you will be taking.
Woohoo, he's getting fucked. And then we never saw Gore
Fuck.
again.
Yeah.
/R space 1d2.
Yeah, I've completely blanked out. All right, you are taking 2 points of sanity damage. as you feel your heart jump to your throat as you are looking for the first time. This almost like you can see in his face this twisted horror of like a cold-blooded predator. His hands are like crooked, and his long arms are seemingly like beginning to like take this almost like haunch appearance. And most notably, as you kind of like gaze in horror, the flickering like light of a neon like lamp a few dozen feet away from him casts a shadow across the brick wall beside him, and you can see the shadow is not that of a short, haunched, mid-built man, but that of a long and spindly, gaunt, like humanoid figure, far taller and grotesquely stretched than the man that is casting the shadow. And all the man can do is smile at you. Before, with a single flash, the man seems to, with a cackle, run into the nearby alleyway and disappearing into the dark.
Oh, I reckon I may have had a bit too much on the smoking, and those cigars be hitting a bit different. And I reach into my back waist, like the waist of my pants are over the back, and I just pull out my revolver.
Are you pursuing the thing?
I am not pursuing the fucking thing at all. I'm not going anywhere near it. I'm going to make my way like around, like across the street from where like the alley was, and like keep my eyes peeled on it and shuffle my way to get like to my
Okay.
flat
Okay.
on the northern part of Friedrichshain.
Your heart pounding as you are looking into the grim alleyway where the creature had disappeared into. Yet the barrel of your gun aimed down into the darkness, half expecting at any moment it could that man could come running back at here with the speed that he used to run away. Yet he never does. It seems that you are not his victim tonight. And as you hurry your way back home, rushing back to get to your apartment, you are let out a sigh of relief as you are able to get into your humble flat, locking the door behind you and sliding down against the door. Able to put the hammer of your gun back into the disarmed status. And it is as you end your night that we will be ending the first session of Wicked Berlin. Or Long Nights.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ!
You saw Satan, the
I saw a
devil himself,
fucking changed being.
and we're just like, "Ooh, what a nice drive."
Having a good drive. We should get a phone installed into the house, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Friedrichshain's not the same as it used to be. Loading fucking menacing intent.
Cool.
We're fucking gamers. We're cock gamers.
Cock gamers.
Cock.